Okay. I wasn't sure how much of a lag there was. So, yeah. I think we are officially live. Hooray! Yay! Awesome. Yeah, so thank you everyone for bearing with us as we launch and push out from the dock. And I don't have any more nautical puns, so I'm going to stop now. But yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to the first get together of the Doodle Crew. So yeah, we're very excited. And there's probably going to be a lot of figuring stuff out and doing that tonight. So we appreciate everyone's patience, but we're super excited to be here. So if you are not already familiar, so obviously you're on my channel, so you should know me. But if not, my name is Emily. I am a swan named Emily across the internet. I was live a few hours ago because I got a new toy. But I am joined tonight by some wonderful, wonderful people. And I can't wait to have them talk about themselves because they love doing that. But before we get into that, I am going to let everyone know that this is the 18 plus mature content stream. Not that I'm promising anything, but this is your warning that if you are not 18, any of my students, this is probably not the one you should be watching. And we will be publishing art that we are comfortable with and happy with after this. So if you want to check that out, you can. But yeah, this is your warning that there now may be swearing and there may be inappropriate jokes for anyone under 18. But if you're over 18 and you're ready to join with us, then I'm going to send the introductions over to the person next to me, Nicole. So hi, Nicole. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Nicole. I stream sometimes. Sometimes I stream art, and it's not very good art, but I guess every stream needs a weak link.
We're happy to have you. And Kristen, say hello.
Hello. I do not stream. This is actually the first Twitch stream I'm doing, and it's art, which I'm very happy about. So I'm really excited to do this because I've kind of wanted to do a Twitch stream for a while, so I feel like this is a good dip my toe into the waters of the stream. See what I did there?
Yeah, I like it. I am all for continuing with the nautical themes, especially if I don't have to be the captain the whole time. So, below me, Philomena, introduce yourself.
Ahoy! So I'm also drawing online Twitch virgin lady. So yay, good for us. So I'm known as Philomena Jack Studio on some parts of the internet. On other parts of the internet, I'm known as Coach Philomena. But I'm going to be working in Procreate on my iPad with my Apple Pencil tonight. For whatever happens will happen.
I like it. Awesome. And Laura?
Hello, I'm Laura Charles. Like Kristen, I'm also working on getting a stream up and going, and Emily is helping me with that, so I'm excited to try this out and say hi to everybody. You can find me around the internet as Laura Charles Art. Most social media places, my website is lauracharles.art. And yeah, I'm going to be working in watercolor today, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's fancy.
It's fancy. And Randall, last but not least.
Oh, speaking of fancy, so my name's Randall. Usually I'm on Twitch for gaming things, so this is going to be the first time I'm actually here doing art. I went to school with both Emily and Kristen in this group. Yay, Art Institute.
Yay, art doesn't exist anymore. Woo!
Yay, our degrees don't mean anything.
Denial is a powerful thing.
So continuing the tradition of what we went to school for, I'm going to be working in Photoshop with my lovely tablet.
Yay. Awesome. So yeah, so the plan is kind of everybody's going to be working on their own, but we're going to jump over and we're going to highlight different people here and there. So some of us are working digitally, so we'll be sharing screens. Some of us are working traditionally. So I'm going to kind of let my lovely co-hosts, duke it out to see if anybody wants to feature first. And if not, they're going to send me smoke signal messages to switch over. And if not, then we're just going to bop around and wing it. We're going to wing it. Sails up, here we go. So does anybody want to be featured first?
I still have to get all my stuff together, so.
I can also just.
About filling
I'm
you
a
guys.
little nervous, so I don't know about being first.
That's cool. Could you be working on a piece of technology that you just installed today and are winging it for the stream? Because that's what I'm doing. That's what I thought was a good idea. So, I do have. All right, let me see. If this will work. I didn't bother prepping to share mine, so you know. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and do my favorite activity, which is look at pictures of myself.
Oh, I love that. That's
You
always
know.
fun. Okay, let me see. I can drive and do this. Hey, look, so that's the drawing I did earlier. Sad to say that is not my face, but that was my very first
Aw.
drawing ever done with my new digital tablet. So I'm very, very right.
What
Oh,
tablet
good.
do you have?
We were allowed to do a drawing earlier because I did that too. I had a pre-game, or else I would be too nervous.
I did also sketch out some ideas in my sketchbook, which I'm pretty sure I moved too far out of reach, so I'm gonna have to stand up and go get. But no, this was more just like, oh my god, I just got this new toy. But yes, so to answer the question, so I got, I'm gonna have to stare at this, but I got the Huion Canvas 22 Plus. So this is not a self-contained drawing tablet. This is more just a connect to my computer and have the digital drawing tablet in front of me because, you know, money is a thing that we have to be conscious of. But yeah, so far in the 4 hours so far, I think it's incredible and I love it. But I did also do a decent amount of research, beforehand to figure out which one I want to go with. So I like this. I know I still have a lot of tweaking to do as far as settings, because the brightness and the saturation are still a little bit different between the two. So I have some tweaking to do. But yeah, I'm just excited because it's a new toy and I've wanted a drawing tablet since we were in college. And I'm not going to tell you what year that was because I don't want to talk about it. So it's been a long time that I've wanted.
Denial is a powerful thing.
It is a powerful thing. Yeah.
2 years. It just goes by so fast.
So fast.
Yeah,
We look so young and
This
vibrant.
is just the anniversary of our, 2 years. The
Yeah.
8th anniversary of our 29th birthdays. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, and they're always like, "Oh, you're only as old as you feel," and I was like, "Forget that. I feel ancient. No part of my body is the way it used to." All right. So, all right. Let me just check some things. Okay. And I know I had it on the ticker, but I can't remember if I kept up or not. Yeah. So if anybody in chat is curious about the specific artwork of any of the artists listed on here, let us know. We can pop their info more into chat for you. So. All right. It's so cool. I can just move my pen around. It's ridiculous. I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah, you've got me super jealous over here because I'm just working off my regular tablet, and all you cool kids with your tactile pads in front of you where you can actually see what you're doing with your hand.
Okay, so I want you to know though, previous to this, well, for the last 3 months, I've been working on a mouse. So forget that. But up until that point, I was still running the same whack pad, also known as Wacom tablet, that I had in college. And even though that's only been a couple of years, I had to actually deep dive into some website that hadn't been updated since 2015 and the forum post in there just to find a driver to have it work with Windows 10. And let me give you a quick hint, it didn't actually work real great with Windows 10. So I've been without any sort of drawing tablet since August. And don't draw with a mouse. That sucks and I hate it and I'll never go back. So
That sounds awful. What tablet did you end up getting? I don't think I heard.
so I got the Huion, so Huion Canvas, so it's Canvas 22 plus.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And as Nicole knows earlier, I was having just some small mental breakdown because I had to actually unbox it and put it together, and I was terrified that it was not going to work or something was going to go wrong. So I prefaced my stream with, in case this goes bad, I'm going to have a really ugly breakdown on camera, just so you're aware. It worked out. So
You'd have a support network for you, so.
I appreciate that. When I was telling them too, I also, you can order right through the company, which is what I would have preferred to do, but because they're sneaky, Amazon actually had kind of a better deal set up and they had a longer warranty. And considering the luck I've had with technology recently, I went for the longer warranty because I was like, no, we're not rolling the dice with this.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, I usually don't, but I think if I'd gotten burned, I probably would have started doing it.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of, so even like at this point, so it all started, I'm going to tell you, spin you my tail, my long tail of woe. So it started with, so I've got a laptop that I actually really like, and it was meant to be kind of my primary computer because I do travel a bunch, and I was doing a lot of remote teaching and a lot of moving around and just all sorts of different stuff. And I got it, and it was an investment, so I was good with it. And about a year into owning it, a little under a year, it went full blue screen of death, and I lost everything. Luckily, I was able to send it in because it was still under warranty and get it totally, refurbed and sent back to me as a brand new thing without all, my files on it, which is fine. And then for about 8 months, maybe 6 months, I don't know what time is, sometime later, July or August, I started to have all these issues with CorelDRAW, which is a program I used to use a lot at my last job, but it's a vector program and I was using it for a ton of art that I was working on. And it wouldn't open stuff and it wouldn't save stuff. And of course, that was during the time where I had a logo that was super due and I really didn't have a lot of flex time to work around it. So I ended up submitting a customer service report and had a lovely text chat with India, who were very, very nice and wished me good sleep at the end of our conversation because it was about midnight my time. And then I ended up having about a 2-hour conversation with a lovely woman who was in the UK but spoke with a very heavy German accent. And she basically went through and said, no, it's totally knackered, and part of it's because you plugged in a Wacom tablet or some sort of device, I think she named it. She's like, yeah, did you do that? I was like, oh yeah, I super did. She's like, so that started it back in March, but it's been slowly malfunctioning more and more and more since then. And Corel's not going to work. And here's all the things. So you need to completely rewipe it, start it fresh. And yeah, I've done none of that since August. So I have not been able to use Corel since August because I need this computer. It's the only one I have. So roll into September, finally bought all the pieces to build a new desktop computer and actually have a good working machine. And only recently got to put it together and ran into hiccups with that. But hopefully by tomorrow, I will be able to go and pick it up and have that working. So maybe by January 1st, I will have a running computer and a tablet and all of my beautiful things. And 6 months will have gone by in the blink of an eye.
Oh my God.
That feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
A trial.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Although the German lady was really, really nice. I enjoyed her greatly. So
Did she really say the word knackered? Because that's kind of awesome.
I think she did. She had some fun things, but I was so I just disheartened at the end of that. I'm just like, so it's totally broke. She's like, oh yeah, it's super broke. Like, cool. So
That's great.
yeah,
That's great.
but it's okay. Silver lining, new tablets here. Laptop is cooperating. PC is just to be picked up, and once there's not 3 feet of snow in my way, I can go and pick that up tomorrow. It's good. And I can actually mail out some commissions tomorrow. Yeah, soapbox, but you've got to type. That doesn't count.
Excuse me, I'm not a type.
You're a serial number, right?
It's just written on the bottom of my foot like Andy in Toy Story. All right. Yes. So the good students who are prepared for class today, Future X Skeleton, are working on self-portraits. I might be working on other art that's due today as well, but I will also draw a self-portrait. So
What is the end of your semester coming? I only asked because today was actually the last day of one of my classes. So I was wondering if it was the same for you.
it's not. So I'm actually not teaching anything right now. None of my classes are
Oh, okay.
bad. Nope. So the stream that I am normally a part of as a viewer is actually going on tonight, and that is my lovely friends over at twitch.tv/Nook's Tavern. So it's the Animal Crossing podcast that records live. on Thursday nights. So they're going to be going live with their show, and I do weekly art for them for their different things. So they have themed weeks, and I work on themed art. But because
Oh, that's
there's
cool.
been a lot of life happening this week. And I got to pick my father up from the hospital yesterday after getting surgery on his finger that he tried to amputate in the long splitter. I've been a little busy. So.
Thought for
Hopefully
a
it was
second
not
that you
successful.
literally tried to do that as opposed to just accidentally doing it. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's accurate. Okay.
It was accidental, yes, but I swear to God that all of the gray hair that I have now is because of him. It's fine. It's fine. He's okay. He's suffering plenty on his own because he's in a splint and he hates it. So, yeah. But
Yeah, I think your dad is one of the most accident-prone people I have ever met.
right.
Next to you.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Self-portraits. I keep looking at my webcam to remember what my eyebrows look like.
That's why I cracked the.
They are sisters,
What was that?
not twins. Remember, they're sisters, not twins. Your eyebrows.
Oh, I like that.
I'm stealing that.
I love that.
I
Mine
tell
are like
myself
this
that
big
every
cousins.
time I shave mine.
Oh, funny.
They're sisters, not conjoined twins.
Awesome.
Yeah, I always joke that literally the only thing I ever got, like I got genetically from my mother, was her gray eyebrows, which I'm very thankful for because everything else I look like my dad, but he's got troll eyebrows, so I'm okay that I got her very nicely defined eyebrows. All right. Spinners. Okay. Oh, I did have that. All right. So there's that. Okay. I feel like I'm good on all this stuff. I'm not missing anything, so I can actually draw. Okay. Hey, Nicole, your thing doesn't show up as a black box anymore.
Yeah, turns out I fixed it through Streamlabs because I'm streaming my Streamlabs because that's not meta at all.
That's really funny. But hey, if it's working, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take it. I'll take the win.
Wait, so you're streaming on your own channel also?
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That'll be nice.
Well, I mean, I guess
When I eventually get my
technically not
stream
right
up.
now.
Oh, what was that?
Technically not right now, but I'm capturing it, but I'm not live streaming it.
That makes sense.
Are you recording it for later?
Potentially.
Yeah, so also fun thing, because this will be going to my Twitch, if anybody wants parts of the recording or anything like this, I will download that, and but it'll also be available for 14 days for anybody to check out. So that is also an option. Okay. So, anybody who is not currently featured, would you like to be featured now?
I almost have my paint in my palette.
How do we know if we're being featured or not?
So I'm still working in my rough sketch, but if you want to throw it up, that's fine. It kind of looks like the sexy Colonel Sanders right now.
Oh, it does. You're very
Ooh,
yes. I love
I
it.
like it. It's like that
Oh,
Lifetime movie they
wow.
just made.
I was gonna say, did anyone watch that?
No, but I really want
I've watched
to.
reviews about it, which I feel like is still giving me the amount of information I need.
What Lifetime movie?
You don't know.
There's-
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know. No, I need answers, people.
It's a 15-minute movie about a romance between some rich girl and Colonel Sanders, who is like the professional chef of this rich family that's going under, and she's got like a douchey fiance, and like I'm not going to do it justice. You need to just
But the best part
watch either
is,
a review or the trailer or something. But it's only 15 minutes apparently.
so when it came out, it 100% just looked like one of those, what's the one comedy website? I'm completely blanking right now. No. Yeah.
It looked like a
College Humor.
Hallmark movie.
So it looked like a College Humor post because the sexy Colonel Sanders is played by Mario Lopez.
That's amazing.
That is funny to me.
Oh, hey Nicole, can we tell that Nightbot that it's okay that Kruggles uses caps?
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll fix it.
I like that I talked to like
feeling
Nightbot
nice
as a
today.
person. I'm like, hey, can you tell it?
I also have my rough drawing off this at
Yeah.
any time.
Let's see.
Oh, look at you! You're so cute.
Oh, I love it.
I'm gonna draw myself holding a cup of tea, which is like sort of my staple in life.
Hmm.
Like a big ass cup of tea.
Oh, I love it. Oh, you look beautiful already.
I keep trying to like look at my screen because my face, I actually kind of pre-gamed drawing a little bit, like attempting to draw myself. And I realized that my art style is not my face structure. I draw very like round heart-shaped faces, and I have a very like long, narrow face. So it's very weird to try to draw myself in an opposite style.
Which is something I would like to do in future posts or future streams is have us draw either other styles or off kilter stuff because that's super stressful and fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like trying to draw other styles, but yeah, if I have to like draw my style, it's not going to happen.
It's like those flashbacks to college when everybody came in and all they did was they drew like in an anime style. And
Invader Zim.
yeah, or Invaders, exactly. And being told, guys, you need to be flexible. You need to have an art style that's not just what you see on TV.
Although I can't say we were 100% innocent of that ourselves, but you know,
Exactly.
100%.
no one needs to know.
Well, and it's one of those two where, and I know it's a cliche, I'm completely aware of it, but literally the amount of information I learned from like 25 to 29, like I would have loved to have gone back and done some of this stuff in college because I was like, oh my gosh, I get it. I know why you're asking me to do this, and I'm so much more prepared for it. But at 19, I don't understand anything.
Don't understand and also don't have like the self-awareness to get out of your own head
No.
or your own ass, I should say.
Any of my body parts could not be removed from other ones at that point.
Right?
Yeah, at that time it was like, why is this mean lady telling me that I should go jump off a bridge?
But please, I don't wanna. There's so many bridges in Pittsburgh, I can't even pick one. Yeah,
just
good
like-
times, guys. Good times.
Suck it up and stop drawing the Dragon Ball Z pants.
I
You'll
will
be
share
fine.
I will share sort of a funny story about like the art style. Because you know, you start drawing in that anime art style pretty early, and I think I sort of adopted a lot to it because growing up, I hated the shape of my nose. I have like a ski jump nose, and I always thought it made me look like a pig. But then anime has that like really like upturned nose.
Yeah, 100%.
And so as soon as like I saw anime and I'm like, you know, Pokemon or whatever, and they all have these upturned noses, I'm like, oh, they're like me. And I didn't feel so bad about my nose. Like I realized it was just visual shorthand and they don't all have these like ski jump noses, but it
No,
always made me feel better about
different.
myself.
it really, really
Made me
does.
feel better about my weird nose.
Well, I loved the exaggeration, and it was such a weird, I'll say, kind of world to flip flop between because it was always anime and it was always Disney. Like those were my two, so that's always how I fashioned things, and
Yeah.
I wanted stuff to look, and it didn't look like that, but I wanted it to.
I need to give myself a bigger cup of tea. It's not big enough.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't. I couldn't define my own style at 19. Like that didn't come until much, much, much later. So, but you know,
I
No,
agree with that.
no,
I even honestly feel like I don't have much of a style now, but I clearly do. I just feel like it changes so much.
yes, yeah, no, 100%. But no, I was thinking of specifically one of our teachers who, you know, used to get on us about making sure that all of our ink lines were closed and that type of stuff. So when I was inking traditionally so much recently, you know, doing commissions and stuff like that, like that's all I think of in my head. And like, close your lines, Emily. You know, in digital art, I totally get it because if you just want to fill tool stuff, like that's way easier. But yeah, no, all those things that are still in my head from
so fascinating. They wanted you to close your lines?
Yeah. Well, we
Oh,
were
yeah.
doing like model sheets. Like it was specifically on the model sheets that I remember that and the whole thing was like if you had sketched on the finished Bristol board, if you left any pencil left over that they saw, like that would deduct points for you or deduct off your grade and everything like that. So
Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah, but yeah, making sure that all of our lines were closed in that. And I can't even, I know I have them somewhere, but I don't know if I can bring myself to look back at those old model sheets because I think it's really painful.
I'm going to
don't
be
do it.
honest with you.
I've done that, and
I completely forgot that whole close your lines thing, and you just kind of PTSD flashbacked me.
Hey, you're
Did
welcome.
not
You're welcome.
appreciate that. Like,
want me to
you're
tell
right, they did, and I don't remember them doing that.
Tangent.
The tangent thing was like, yeah, I remember that.
Which is
tangents I remember.
actually a really valuable thing. Like, you know, joking around about it, but it is a good thing to be aware of. But oh god, the PTSD, guys. All I can think of is the little like puppy dog who is kind of like bold eyes looking at the camera, and there's like, you know, translucent pictures of Nom over some of it, and that's all I can think of our time in art school. But hey, kids, follow your dreams.
We talked about anime so much. I'm going to do that anime thing where like the hair is the border. Yeah, we'll do that. Even though this is a lie because I like just recently cut my hair, so it's not this long anymore. But it was, so still counts.
Which is weird because in my brain you will perpetually have hair all the way down to your butt.
Yep.
That's how I knew you.
That is how you shall always know me.
Anytime
So
I'm
my one-
experiencing pain while walking outside in the cold, I also think of your long hair whipping me and beating the crap out of me.
That hair was dangerous, yeah. Like, if it was in a braid and it was blowing in the wind, it would knock people out. And, you know, I could have stopped it, but I didn't.
So many things in college. I could have done this, but I didn't.
All right, I think
I went through an ugly
should
clothes.
start thinking.
You went
What
through
was
an ugly clothes? What?
I went through an ugly clothes phase where I would go to a thrift store and just find the ugliest clothes I could find and wear them. I told my parents it was an art student thing.
Oh, speaking of an art student thing, my all-time favorite comment that I ever got related to art school is I would come home and I would tell people about what I was doing, and their reaction would be, and this is more than one occasion, people would be like, "You don't look like you go to art school." I'm like, what does that mean exactly? Like, I don't feel like it's a compliment, but what?
So in this case, it means you didn't look like Laura.
Apparently, I don't know. I wore some really ugly shit.
I think we all did. God, maybe it was an art school thing, and we're just now realizing.
Yeah, but your triangle hair was classic. I never wanted it to not be the case.
The Super Mario Goomba.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I don't know how to do this in StreamYard. I want you to. How do I kill that comment, Nicole? Kill
I
it.
just did.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool. Nice.
Of course I did.
I'm glad you're on top of it. I'm super not.
I try.
What are hands? I know how to draw hands. I do. I promise I do. Like sometimes.
I believe in you. I don't. That's why I'm not drawing hands.
I can do, you know what I need to do is pull up reference, but sometimes I forget that's an option. Like part of me is like, no, you have them attached to the end of your arms. You can draw hands. Like, what's wrong with you?
So did anybody else have this weird impression when you were like first starting to draw that it was like illegal to look up references and that you had to draw everything from your head?
Yes.
I heard people say that, but I never believed them. So
I think it went hand in hand with the tracing thing, which now when it comes to tracing, as far as, you know, copying someone else's art and reproducing it and calling it your own, totally shitty. Don't do that. But the actual like educational tool that is tracing, like I feel like it got lumped in with that. And I was like, no, that can actually be really helpful, because you have to train your brain and you have to teach yourself how to do some of this stuff. You don't just automatically know it. But
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from the school where you just keep drawing it over and over again until you figure it out, as opposed to tracing like off a photo or something. But not to say that I've never traced off of a photo, but I prefer not to.
I definitely traced out of like my Disney How to Draw books. I remember tracing out of that. I trace out of comic books a lot. And then, you know, my favorite story of all time is pausing the VCR to trace the Sailor Moon still that was on the screen.
I did that with The Last Unicorn. I would pause it, and it was this big TV that had that domed glass screen, and like drawing straight on the screen with like a pencil and tracing paper. I did
Remember
it.
being so pissed off
Oh,
that
you
you could not
you
get
mean
like
like
a good
children.
light table look from the TV? Like, what the fuck? It's all fuzzy. I can't even see it.
Right, it was so blurry. It pissed me off too. This
Oh,
is
you
our
guys
bonding
mean like
moment.
right at the beginning, though, of learning how to draw.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was right at the beginning. I wouldn't have known though.
Well, I think it was interesting too.
Oh, no
because,
judgment. I'm just curious.
you know, there was a lot of like the sketching and the drawing that I wanted to do, I realize now was very much comic book and cartoon and that type of stuff, but that wasn't what was being covered in the classes I was taking in school. You know, even
Yeah.
in elementary school, we were learning a lot of other stuff. So like there wasn't really an outlet for that for me to learn that part of it.
That's true. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, it's hard when you have like, yeah, some of the stuff that gets, at least when I was in school, the stuff that you would learn like in classes and stuff, I felt like didn't really relate to what I wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
I think it's still valuable, just
Well, like so many
Yeah.
things, you know, I couldn't
Cheating right
appreciate
now.
it then like I do now. All right, there's that. Okay, let me switch over. Okay. Nicole, do you want to be featured for a while, or are you okay?
You can if you want.
Okay. I just like the power. That's really what it is. I like
It's
the-
not very good, but that's okay.
Good. I like it.
It's fantastic. Shut up.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
how flowy your hair is.
I'm not good at hair. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Though with a tablet, it actually
I'm
works.
looking at the contrary, just saying.
I'll draw all the hair. Where's the thing? There's the thing.
Hair is the one thing that I usually go crazy with.
Yes, crazy is an understatement. You friggin' rock hair in ways that I don't even understand.
Like, why didn't you draw hands? And I'm like, but look at the hair. I don't understand your
I'm doing the
question.
wrong thing.
But look at the hair.
Her hands are literally hair.
That sounds like a Sailor Moon.
No, that's the thing that appears in the corner of the room when I'm having a night terror, like something with hands for hair.
Oh, and I meant to call it out. So Wiffle Possum in chat had said something that says, "Why aren't you in VFX?" And you know, again, triggered. But I used to also really enjoy going back to college with the fact that you could pretty much tell which major each person was in by their clothing and their like put togetherness, we'll say. Like,
Also, there's sleep exhaustion.
yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like the animation kids and the game art kids always just look like we slept in our clothes, hunched over our computers.
Yeah, we did.
Because some of us did.
Because some of us did. Because they closed the friggin' computer lab at 10 at night. Because, like, what do you want us to do? I got rendering I have to do.
We were the ones most willing to just like either break into the school or stay in the school illegally. Like there were plots just to like so we didn't have to go home. Not because we wanted to be destructive, just because we had a render.
Yeah, I was like, no, I have this whole computer lab to myself. Please just let me render.
Yeah.
So the
I don't have
crazy
a cell
thing
phone
is,
at home.
I don't know if everyone realized that the school opened, you could go back in at like 6 in the morning at the earliest.
Yeah, I also didn't want to be up at 6 in the morning.
Same,
You'd
but
rather
I would
just stay
also
up
go
late.
in like right before an 8 o'clock class in the morning, and I would go to the animation labs and scan stuff at like 6:15 in the morning.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, we didn't have that drive, Randall.
Well, also, at what point, which place were you living at that point? Were you up
I
on
was
Washington?
no, I've stayed in Allegheny Center up until
Oh, that's right.
graduation.
He was my
so-
neighbor.
So it was like for people who didn't grow up around here or like know about the Art Institute, the walk from the dorms to the Art Institute at the time, it was like a 25 to 30-minute walk.
It was a mile. It was a straight up mile from Allegheny Center to the Art Institute.
Or maybe more. I think it might have actually been like a mile and a half.
Goodness, okay. All I know is I was friggin' exhausted.
But we learned to walk it as if it was a mile. And yeah, so we were tired all the time.
All the time. And carrying those gigantic portfolios that you had to have.
Cold and tired.
Cold and tired
Yeah.
across the bridge. Oh, God, it's so cold. But do you remember the up all nights and people getting so excited? They're like, I'm going to join the game tournaments. And the animation students are like, are you crazy? I'm going to use the computer lab. Why would you game when we could do work?
Yep.
Right? Like up all night was for us to get projects done. It wasn't for you to have fun, you post first years.
You crazy people. Yeah, good times. Good times. And yeah, I love it because even at the end of all of that, we really didn't have a normal college experience. Like I talked to other people and they're like, wait, you did this? You did what? And I'm like, wait, is that not what all people did? You mean go all year round with only a few little breaks in between? And then what? Wait, what?
You partied? What?
Wait, what
I
are
would
the parties?
I would get calls from friends during college, and they'd be like, drunk Friday call, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm at school working.
I have plans.
Like, I have homework due on Monday, and I don't have time to do anything like that.
Yeah, they're like, what, you got tomorrow? And I was like, no, I need tomorrow. I need tomorrow and Sunday in order to finish all of this animating.
I actually kind of liked it that we didn't have to worry about sports teams or pep rallies or anything like that. That was kind of freeing.
I wish we would have had, well, one, I wish we would have had better, like,
Everything?
well, okay. Like the Y was literally next door. Like they couldn't have cut us a little bit of a break on that because like we needed exercise. We were terrible houseplants. Like we needed water and we needed exercise, and we didn't get either of them except for that walk. And that's not enough to keep us alive. So yeah, I wish we could have done more with that. But yeah, I think it was really like the realization of the amount of downtime that some of our fellow college mates had was weird. Because I always felt like we were just going all the time. Like you never really stopped. You just kept going. And some people are like, yeah, this semester I'm not taking as much. Or I don't know, even the option to take something that wasn't just so set in our track schedule. But
Did you guys get sick on your break too, like clockwork?
yes.
Because that would happen to me. I'd like go, and then winter break would come, and I'd get pneumonia.
Sounds accurate.
Completely trashed my immune system during school, which I still deal with because of the damage that I did to myself. So, yeah.
sleep exhaustion took a huge toll on me, health-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I realized too, like, this sounds silly, but like the actual mental damage or mental issues I was
Anguish?
but just like, yeah, I was like, oh no wonder I was struggling with some of this stuff because I was just perpetually exhausted and perpetually stressed all the time. Yeah. It's good. Guys, it's so good. You don't even know how good it was. The house bunny lied to me, Randall. College is supposed to be very different.
Where was our house mother?
Right?
Actually, I think Sarah was our house mother, if we're being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
She still is our house mother. She delivered me cookies the other day.
No part of that surprises me. Oh god, that's funny. I should save this. Hey guys, everyone should save.
Okay, Teach.
Thank you. I actually had not saved yet, so good job.
I realized I hadn't either. Professional. We are professionals.
I will say, though, that I do appreciate with the new Photoshop, it does actually do a pretty decent job at doing an autosave every now and then.
About freaking time, though, right? Like, after all those years, we're like, no, we have autosave, and then you go to try and open that file, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm corrupted. Don't even. I'm sorry. You've tried to access a corrupted file, so no.
And the twist is we were the corrupted file all along.
Right. Oh, geez, Wiffle Possum, that sucks. I forgot that the tea had such specific run times. I never actually took the tea. I always had to go. I'd walk all the way down Smithfield and connect with Penn Ave, and then pick up my bus to ride it up into Bloomfield from there. So yeah, I never took the tea.
Oh, it was awful. It still is awful.
Yeah, well, I remember even years ago when I was visiting you there, they were talking about transit issues and strike and all that fun. Okay, but can we just take a moment and talk about pressure sensitivity? Because I think I'm in love.
It's a lifesaver?
It's amazing.
Oh, that's right, because your old ancient tablet didn't have that. as an option.
No, not for a long ass time. I had to do
I
it.
remember it changed my life when I finally got a Cintiq and I like had something with pressure sensitivity. It was like, oh, this is how you art. All right.
This makes so much sense. This is how they're so fast. I get it. Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just thought it was a bad artist. It's like, oh no, my mouse could only do so much.
Yeah. Oh god. Mouse art.
Eventually I want to try using brushes.
I think that's the thing too. Like I know, like I got Clip Studio partially because it was cheap, but also because of some of the options it had specifically for making comics, but brush wise and stuff. Like I know there's a ton in there, but because I didn't have pressure sensitivity, a lot of it really didn't help or didn't apply. And now that I have it, I was like, oh yes, we're gonna touch all the things. Yeah.
I remember I used to love inking. I do not love inking anymore.
I love that little palette, Laura. That's really cool.
It was
Let's see.
It was one of those things that I really wanted one, but I couldn't justify it, and so I asked for it for Christmas, and my mom ended up getting it for me. It was part of initially it was part of a Kickstarter. This artist that I follow called SPM Law. She's a watercolorist, and she designed them. And they sell them now on Etchrolab. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them, but they make really cool like artist supplies, like bags that you can hold tablets and sketchbooks in, and a bunch of other stuff. But they're making these now, and my mom got it for me like, I don't know, 2 years ago.
That's really cool.
But there's like a little mixing thing here too.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
it comes in this little,
Oh, neat.
it's a little tin,
Yeah, that's
so
dope.
it's easy to carry. That's their website. You can see it.
That's very cool. I'm only just tipping my little tiptoe into watercolor, and I'm doing it by way of watercolor pencils because that's a level of control that I can handle. But I found a super cheapo set of watercolors at TJ Maxx and picked that up because it was like $10 and it had all this stuff in it. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like they're little tubes. Like if they suck, it doesn't matter because I'm just practicing. But they're actually
Yeah,
so
that's definitely how I started too. I started with the pencils, and then I got some like student grade watercolor in the tube. And actually this year I finally upgraded to Daniel Smith, which is really great. I'm really excited about it.
that's awesome.
but it took me like 4 years before I was willing to dump money on it like that. Not dump money because it's been worth it, but
No, that makes sense. And it's like Prismacolors. I mean, I couldn't appreciate Prismacolors when we had to buy them for school, but now I was like, oh no, I understand why they're superior to other markers. And I have some Copics, I have some Studio Loft, Artist Loft ones. I have a few different brands, but I was like, oh nope, a slightly more expensive marker does actually, for some of the
difference.
that I make, it really does make a difference. And you know the saddest part, you know where I found the biggest difference was in colored pencils. The Prismacolor colored pencils are so friggin' good in comparison. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Well, and for me, the one that really changed my mind was the ink pens.
Yeah.
Doing Inktober, like trying to find pens that would consistently give me the line quality I wanted. You know, everybody just always goes on and on about microns, but microns always split tips when I tried to use them.
Yep.
Same.
Yep. No, every time. And I mean, obviously, you know, when we were in college and we were animating, I was using and abusing them. But even afterwards, like they would break or they would splinter, they'd get fuzz, but it was like fuzz embedded in the tip. And no, because you said it to me, you're like, you should try the Prismacolor ink pens. And I tried them and I was like, oh my gosh, it's totally different.
I haven't even tried them before.
They're nice. I have some. The next time we do a get together, I'll have to show you so it's funny. I was literally, again, random art product showing up in random places. I was at Target and they had like quote unquote an artist starter pack, and it had all the Prismacolor ink pens, and it had from 005 all the way up to 08. It had a chisel, it had a brush, and then it's got two big double-ended ones, one that's a chisel, one that's a felt tip, and then one that's a brush pen and one that's a felt tip. And again, it was like $10. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm sorry, what? I can buy 10 of these really great markers for what? Like I should have gotten like 4 of them. But then I was worried. I was like, are they going to be really shitty and like only have a little bit of ink in them and that's why they're cheap? But no, they've been great. So up is down, right is left. Cats living with dogs. It's insanity.
Cats is a movie now.
Oh God, and let's not even talk about that. Let's not talk about buttholes, and then I'm here for it.
It is 18 plus though. Just saying.
I was just gonna say that. Thank you.
Butts. You can talk about butts. And one of my all-time favorite Ketty comments that if Jesse and I had gotten married, I would be Emily Swan butts. Like, Ketty, you said that out loud. That was for people to hear.
He's not even a butts anymore.
He's not.
So he got married, and the lady that he got married to, her name is Olivia, and she is an elementary school teacher, and she did not want her last name to be Butts because she's an elementary school teacher. So now it's Betz, B-E-T-Z, specifically because of that reason.
Well, yeah, and it had like part of her original name in it too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it combined, but the reasoning that I heard from the horse's mouth was elementary school teacher
Oh,
should
no,
not
that
have the
makes
last
sense.
name Butts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you talk to Jesse's dad, it was Butts because it had the umlaut. But if you've ever met Jesse, it was Butts. So,
Having taught elementary school teachers, or students, I would agree with that decision.
yeah, no, it was a good call. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, one, Glorbinator would like us to talk microns to him or her, to them. And another fun thing couples can do is exchange last names. Oh, that would be weird. I've also said to any potential partners, I was like, no, I cannot take your name because my brand is a swan named Emily. I have to keep this. Like,
Same.
around this. I can't change it now.
I have too much writing on the name I've created that it'd be very hard to switch. Although I watched a really interesting video, I think it might have even been like a BuzzFeed video about the new trend of husbands taking their wives' last names.
Yeah.
And how the system is not prepared for it, but that it actually isn't such a bad system.
No. Well, and I think at this point, like, the expectation is that some partner in the couple is going to change their name. So someone's going to have to go through the paperwork of it.
Or you get hyphened and both of them change it, but yeah.
Or like the idea of just like chopping up each name, smashing it together, making a new terrible hybrid. And just as you slowly, like generation on, we just get these longer and longer and longer hybrid unpronounceable names. That's really what
like this is the beast we have formed by combining our powers. Like it shall be named.
I feel like hyphenated names is worse though.
Yes, I agree.
Because what if you get like 2 hyphenated babies who grow up and get married, and then they have like 4 hyphenated last names? I feel like that would be too much.
Well,
And that's just one generation.
Or just the right.
23
that the
names. I said Picasso actually has 23 names.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, but
have them
how?
all I don't have them all memorized, but it's real. It's like a family thing. If you look up, like, it ends with like Ruiz E something else Picasso.
It wasn't just something he gave himself.
Google it.
I'm very curious about that. Thank you.
I suppose when you start getting into like royal names or whatever, they have like 30 first names or whatever.
Dogs do that too.
That's true. There's about the same amount of inbreeding too.
Ooh, royalty slam.
Yeah, take that.
It wasn't about West Virginia for once.
It wasn't. I wasn't gonna throw shade at West Virginia.
I do.
Yeah, but you're allowed.
I know.
Think of like the certain members of like the Latinx community that have these really great, beautiful, multi-level names, and then depending on your level of religion and like getting your like Catholic confirmation name, and I'm not going to speak any more on that because I know literally zero about it, but I know that it's a thing. So, yeah. It's a brave new world, though. Especially after this year, all bets are off.
I'm waiting for the apocalypse where we all just diss our normal names and we all go by like one word. Like in the Matrix, they're all just their usernames, something like that.
Or like in
We're gonna have a zombie apocalypse, and it's just gonna be like, oh, where are you headed? Wichita, Columbus.
That's like in the 3rd Resident Evil movie, I think it was. They find a girl, and her name is Kmart because that's where they found her.
Yeah, right.
I will admit that I did not watch the Resident Evil movies. Not because I didn't think they would be good, but because they would scare me.
That's fair.
Or play the games, because that just seems like a bad idea. Although, Randall, I meant to tell you, well, this was months and months ago, and I might have mentioned it. Stop me if I've told you this. But when I got my PlayStation 4, it came with a copy of The Last of Us, which I've heard amazing things about. But all I can think of is playing, like sitting in the living room and Sarah playing it. And like we were working on something, probably pins, if I'm being honest. But like just even the sounds of the clickers being enough to like unsettle me. And I was like, I am never going to make it through this game. That's adorable.
Mhm.
I would try. But I would try.
Yeah, sadly, I also got it with my PlayStation, and I did not finish it.
I hear it's amazing. I hear the story's great. Like it's really good. But oh, here someone Slayer Braxis in chat says Pablo, Diego, Jose, Francesco de Paula, Juan. Oh boy,
Told ya.
Nepo Muenceno, Maria de los Remidos, Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz.
Well,
y
Slayer,
Picasso.
now you're just gonna have to translate that for us.
Wow.
Slayer, you got to translate that now.
Yeah, you gotta help me out with that one. I just muddled my way through that. That's high school Spanish for you, which I was really bad at.
Yeah, that's all Picasso's full name. He Googled it for us.
That was nice of him.
That's a long name.
It is a long name. But you were right, Philomena. Thank you. And hey,
Imagine putting that on a bank statement.
yeah, or a hockey jersey.
Or a business card. It has a fold out.
Not exactly the centerfold we had in mind.
Oh, Picasso.
He's a weird dude.
He is a weird dude. I also there's something, and we had really good art history teachers, and I loved art history. For some reason, I always think of him as being a much older artist than he actually is. Like I think of him as being much more removed from us than he really is, and that's I don't know. That's always very surreal to me.
Yeah, he died in 73.
Yeah, like my parents
Wow.
were alive. They got married 6 years later. Like that's insane.
Yeah, he's not that old.
That's interesting.
Although there's a lot of those like weird history things where you found out like two people you could have sworn were like eons apart end up being born in the same year.
Well, it's like what, like Anne Frank and Dr. King, like born in the same year. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, again, something that floated around as a meme essentially, and I was like, wait, what? Okay. Oh, Tony P. Henderson says The Last of Us is overrated. It's long and boring. So, Tony, I know you don't like some of the really popular games. Like, we're not even going to talk about Animal Crossing. But what do you like to play? Also, hi, B-Mel. All right. Nope, that's eraser. I don't want that. Also, save
Okay.
them later for everybody.
You live dangerously. I hate inking. I used to love inking. Actually hate it now. And I just want to get to coloring.
Oh, see, I'm so much the opposite. I love sketching. I love inking. And then I'm like, color. I'm like, it could be black and white. That's fine.
So speaking of, I actually just finished my line art for mine. So I'm about to hop over to color soon.
Oh, wait, we're going to show. Look at you.
Aww.
You're so cute.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I love that you put the tie and everything in there too.
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice
you really do
pocket
look like you
square.
belong in a dating sim.
Mm-hmm.
Dream Daddy for the win, though. Like that
Oh,
art
yeah.
is so good.
Yep. So that's what we're going for here.
Nice.
Randall, I would choose you in a visual novel dating sim game.
Yes.
You'd be like, ooh, he's wearing pastel. I radiate with that. It's perfect.
Oh, here. Let's switch over. I see Nicole's doing color. Speaking of color.
Ooh.
So she. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And sunglasses. Look at that. I love it. Nice.
I'm really just procrastinating because I don't want to shade.
What?
I'm not good at it.
That's why I love my like cell shaded, like big old blocky color. Like there's no digital paint happening here. We're just blocking that shit in.
That's fair.
Right, Paul? All I can think of is hearing Phil and Dennis sing Dream Daddy like over and over and over again. So speaking of Dream Daddy, so friends of this podcast, we'll say friends of the stream, Botched had played through the Dream Daddy simulator and had done voices and had like gone through all of that. And it was surprisingly engaging and fun to watch, but also insane. So yeah, that's just good times. Good times with Dream Daddy. They ended up
So-
making a comic book of it too, in case you were curious.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's funny is I actually screen printed my own Dream Daddy crop top a couple of years ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, I've never played the game. I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm like, I like the art, you know?
right? Like Monster Prom. I've never played it, but I love that art so much. So Tony P, to answer your question, we did end up going through StreamYard because I was having a lot of issues getting everybody in a Zoom chat and all of that. So we have our 6 cameras set up, and then in addition to that, I have people sharing their screens that I'm then switching in between to highlight, so that they're showing their digital art. So Philomena and Laura are both, wow, words are hard, are both working with their camera pointing down onto their art, where myself, Nicole, Kristen, and Randall are all working digitally and have our screens shared to show. Yeah, that looks awesome, Laura. I love it.
It looks better when I put it closer to the camera.
Good. That's good to hear. Yeah, no, I think it just looks awesome. But no, I'm glad, Tony. I'm glad it's working well on your end. So also, Tony, I will admit I have never actually played a Call of Duty game. I played Halo. I was real bad at it. But oh, here we go. Fun more facts about Picasso. Thank you, Slayer Braxis. Sorry, turned you into a Sailor Scout. Picasso was named after several saints and relatives because it was a Liberian custom. I almost said libertarian. Liberian. I can read. I got this. You come for the art and you learn all these fun facts.
That should be the theme. We do a drawing theme, but then we also do like a history or a science theme. Then we all just word vomit every interesting fact we know about it.
Pick one person to read from Wikipedia. Yeah.
Can't figure out why my brush density is being so weird.
I am still just singing Dream Daddy in my head now. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
Why are you so weird, brush density? What's going on?
PSA. If you're cold, they're cold. Bring the snow inside so I can get warm too. I don't know what that's in relation to, but Glorbinator is worried for us. Hi, Steve. Thank you. All right. What color do I want to do? I think only blue. Well played, Nicole. Well played. Oops. Don't color over it. That's not what you wanted. There you go. Mm-hmm. So are you still inking, Kristen? I see you super zooming in.
Yeah, I'm adding color right now.
Oh, nice.
I do color really like probably a very backwards way, but
Well, I think, again, as we were talking about tablets earlier, I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about moving into digital art or having your own thing, especially as you're working by yourself. If you don't have to hand off your art to anybody else, it doesn't actually matter how you do it because it's just you. And if that works for you, then there's no one to stop you.
the only thing was that it's very slow. Like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so even though I know no one's ever going to see that one pixel that's the wrong color, I have to go in and fix it. Like, when I'm doing a sketch, I put all the colors on one layer because, you know, screw it. But then when I'm inking, I feel like I have to do it correctly. It's weird.
I can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
I just know,
I'm like,
I know
I'm
no
just
one
like,
else sees my mistakes, but I still am like about it.
And as Randall pointed out last night, I apparently don't know the actual color of my eyes because I got them wrong a few times.
I didn't say you got them wrong. It's just you
They
have
were
very-
they were too dark. Yeah, my
yeah.
eyes were too. I gave them too dark of a color.
It's okay. I remember years and years ago working on a birthday card for my sister who I've known for a very long time and had a real solid moment of, does she have blue eyes or does she have brown eyes? And I think it was because she's basically a clone of my mother, and my mother has brown eyes, but Karen actually has blue eyes. So it was funny. I was just like, wait, I know this one. I think I know this
Who are these people that live in my house and talk to me?
one. Who are you? Okay, but also, can I just say, just because I'm doing it right now, like all-time favorite thing is to be able to hold shift because I'm working on a PC and draw just a straight line. Like, it's just so sexy. I love it so much. That's all.
Well, my favorite thing now that I have like a new version of Photoshop and not like an ancient one like I had forever is all the smoothing capabilities that they added to it.
Yeah. What? I think the last version of Photoshop I was running was CS2. It's fine. What are they on now? Like, what's the new?
CC 2020. That's the one where you have to have a subscription.
Yeah, I know I looked into it and I was just like, this is gonna piss me off. Which I probably will.
I have it, and I'm thinking about getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, I just saw some people talking about, oh my gosh, not clip art,
Clip Studio.
Video, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one
They
I'm
just
running.
released a bunch of really great things about it, and honestly, I use it for editing photos more than I do for drawing now. If I'm drawing digitally, I'm doing it on my iPad with Procreate.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, is the purpose of Photoshop is just photo editing.
Right, but you can
Instead-
find free things for Photoshop or for editing photos. Like, I don't think I need the full
No, I agree.
Well, what
Oh,
I
yeah.
Sorry. What I find interesting though is when I got my Photoshop subscription, it actually was bundled as the photo editing suite, specifically with Lightroom, and I think they're trying to make Lightroom the new photo editing software.
Stop trying to
Oh,
make
that
it
makes sense.
happen. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I don't have I actually have like all of the like Illustrator and InDesign, and mostly because I was doing a lot with Illustrator and InDesign specifically, and once you start putting them all together like that, it it gets expensive and it's cheaper to just get everything in a bundle. But
Yeah.
I find I'm not using it very much now that I have a day job. Like,
Yeah.
I use all my traditional artwork and I edit photos. And then I draw on my iPad and that's about it. So I'm thinking about just turning that subscription off for a little while.
Well, that is the nice thing about the subscription is that if you want to turn it on, turn it off, and do that, you can.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are like morally opposed to Adobe and their subscription package, which I also get.
Yeah.
I just remember Andre singing the praises of Maya moving to subscription based, and that being a really, really good thing.
Like if you're using it all the time, I don't think it doesn't bother me.
Right.
I'm just not using it.
Yeah, I think for mine, when I signed up and got my subscription, it was only around $10 a month.
That's not bad.
And so I was like, I use it pretty much every day. So
Yeah,
like,
that's
for
worth
That's a big
$10 a
start.
month, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, and again, like so many things, I think now that I have the tablet that I could work with, but also, working computer that could handle it. That was always the thing that was stopping me. I was like, I don't really have the setup to make this work in a practical way. So it's an extra headache. I certainly don't have the extra capital to throw at that right now. But
Yeah.
I have Photoshop CS6, like I have it, but I had to purchase the CC, the subscription, because that's what I teach in, and I have to like be able, because there's a lot of features that they don't have in CS versus CC, so it's just like super frustrating that it's like, I don't need you, but I just need you long enough to like teach with you.
yeah. Now, is there
And
any
I
way
keep
you could,
wanting to get rid
write
of it.
that off as your teaching expense and do it that way?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can write it off as a teaching expense. But it's more so like I now have 2 different versions of Photoshop on my computer
That's
and all my devices and everything.
just open more programs at the same time. I hear computers love that, and they run
Right.
really well to do that. I love when mine starts to grind when I've got like slobs open and Clip Studio open, and then I was bringing in like my separate tablet before that and all of these things, and I'm just like, what? No, I'm sure it'll be fine. That whirring sound is normal.
That's it. It's just joyful. That's all.
I just realized I forgot to draw my glasses.
Sorry. I don't know what that looked like for the fans at home. I clicked something and I think I fixed it. Sorry. Oops. So Kristen, Tony P wants to know, is that a YouTube silver play button on your wall?
Oh my God, who's asking that? Yes, that is a YouTube silver play button on my wall. I do have a YouTube channel. I have not put anything on that YouTube channel in a while, but it earned me a silver play button. The only thing I have currently and what I use the YouTube channel for is for 3D print turnarounds. But if this Twitch channel kind of dipping my toe in the Twitch thing works out, possibly I might try putting some videos up of drawing.
You should.
Crazy face question mark. But yes, that is a silver play button. I got that, I think, 3 years ago. For Kia Creations. You can find me on YouTube, but then also like Instagram, Tumblr, all those places.
Oh wait.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
There's a thing?
I did the thing. Nicole did the thing too. Yeah.
If you were so inclined.
Shit, yeah. All right, I was looking for something, and then I got distracted. There it is. That's so much space. All right, so that's gray, that's maroon, that's blue.
Maybe I'll eventually get gold.
I mean, from a perspective of preference, I've always liked silver more than gold. Just saying.
Dude, same. Big same. Nope, silver jewelry. The only change I'll make about that is white gold that looks like silver So if you had to get gold, I would get white gold, but no, I like silver better.
That's fair.
Yeah, are you still doing 3D printing stuff, Kristen?
I am. I have taken a break from commissions in the past few years simply because it was getting to the point where I didn't have time for any of my personal stuff. Like every single day was just doing commission stuff. But I do occasionally do commissions still. It's kind of on a first come first serve basis, as well as a like what projects interest me. But yeah, I still do it.
That's awesome.
Since obviously we've been talking so much about our shared experience at AIT, that's kind of where I took my 3D modeling, was by going into the 3D modeling from animation, and then eventually when I found out about like what 3D printing was, it was like, oh, boy howdy, this is the perfect avenue, since I also do costume work as well. So there was no way I was missing out on that.
Yeah, Tony, if you don't already follow her, check out her Instagram. She's got a lot of really friggin' kick-ass costumes and pictures posted over there. Level of sewing sorcery that I will never understand.
Honestly, I don't really understand it myself.
I do think it's funny, though, because anybody that I talk to that isn't super familiar with Comic-Con or anything like that, and I tell them what I do, and they're always like, oh, do you dress up? And I was like, no, dude, that's a whole different level of crafting that I do not possess. But it's incredible, but no. That's a big old note for me. Oh, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, Randall, you have the incredible brain, so I'm going to tag you on this. It was the New York Comic-Con in 2009, 2011?
11, yeah.
11? Were you guys dressed up? But I don't remember what video game character you were. It just looked really cool.
That was Angelique.
That's
and new Angelique.
I forget. I don't know why. Oh, I can never remember Angelique.
And new Angelique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a lot of fun. Also, I realized
a lot of fun.
how long ago that feels.
Oh, I know.
Because that was the first time I met. Oh, yep. Sure, I started that sentence so confident and then blanked.
Chris and Eric.
Yes, Chris. I wanted to say Kristen, and I was like, no, Kristen's here. Yes, Chris and Eric. So I don't think I actually met Eric. He was off doing other stuff, but I did meet Chris. And
And Chris is always busy doing 1,000 art things.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But like beautiful 1,000 art things.
no, the stuff is
Currently, he's really into this one book series and is making all kinds of illustrations for that, which is just mind-blowing.
Which book?
It's called Carry On. It's by last name Rainbow. Trying to remember. I actually have the book somewhere. That's going to be easier for me to remember what it's called. Why? Oh, here it is. Hey, here's a plug for a book I actually haven't read yet. It's called Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. So Rainbow is the first name. But yeah, so this is a book series. That's the first one. Apparently there's a second one. But anyway, our friend Chris is obsessed with the book series and is making some gorgeous, gorgeous art about it. And you can find them at Chris Ricks on all social media platforms, mainly Tumblr. That's still a thing.
which cracks me up because I get emails from Tumblr like, hey, did you forget about us? And I was like, yes, I did. I'm sorry.
There's a few Tumblr loyalists out there.
Absolutely. And, it really, it wasn't a bad platform for a while. Again, part of it was motivated by followers, and I just wasn't picking up followers from that as a site. Just like DeviantArt never really hit for me. Also, I swear every time I used it, I got a computer virus.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
looking up anything fun, but yeah.
I've been hearing of people going back to Tumblr since Instagram changed their algorithms.
Oh, it's awful.
They change it all the time, but
Well, and the thing is, like, everyone abandoned ship when Tumblr announced that they were, going to town with their censorship.
No more porn.
And now Instagram is like just as bad, if not worse. Like, they will delete things and then just say, well, we just didn't like it. It didn't seem like it was appropriate. And I'm like, there was nothing bad showing. I don't understand why you're doing this.
Yeah.
well, I follow a bunch of really cool artists, and I see like none of their stuff. I actually had to stop following some of my friends because they would post pictures of their kids, which I would like to see in theory, but I don't want my whole feed to be like babies. I mean,
Exactly.
I sound like a real curmudgeon right now, but like,
No.
I want to see my artists, and babies get more likes, so they showed up more. It was very frustrating.
Yep. Well, and it's, again, you can't post literally, anatomical lessons or anatomical studies, any of that, because it violates terms of service. And I was like, it's not porn, it's educational. But again, so, that always gets kind of weird and titchy.
I mean, I kind of get it, because I wouldn't want to be that person having to be like, is this porn or is it not? Like, because everyone draws that line in a different place. But it is very frustrating.
It was also just going to be one of those where no matter what, people are going to abuse it for like porn reasons, but then like, is it really worth censoring people? Sometimes it was, but then sometimes it wasn't.
Yeah.
And the frustrating thing is, like, you're still plagued by the porn bots nonstop. Like, somehow they can slip through the censors.
Yeah.
And then, like, they'll have literal porn up on their pages and be sending out these, like, fake follows. And the people who actually are, like, posting real content are the ones that are being censored. And it's like, I get it, but especially if it's a private page, they know that they're not accepting people that are under the age limit or anything like that. So you should just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
So I've actually been seeing a lot of people now that are leaving Instagram to go back to Twitter, of all things. So that's going to be the new hot
A lot
spot.
of people going to Twitter, yeah.
Well, it used to always blow my mind, and it's still the case, is the amount of comic book action that happens over on Twitter with, like, I will never forget when Womanthology took off. That happened because of Twitter interactions. I was like, how is the text-based medium the one that is like this amazing place for all of these artists to connect and get together and do all of this stuff? Like, how did that work out? And it forced me to get better at Twitter because stuff was happening and I want to be in the room where it happened. So
Okay, hey friends, both of my devices are about to die.
Oh.
So I'm gonna log out and all of that. Thanks for letting me play with y'all.
Thank you. Can we zoom in on your piece so you can see it? Let me see. Wait, I can
Go for it.
It looks great.
I can do this one. What do I want to do? No. Wait.
You could do it.
I can do it.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I'm gonna click on your thing. I want you to be there. It is.
There.
Look how fun you are.
Ooh, that is super fun.
That's so dope.
I love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
That looks awesome. Thank you so much for coming and playing with us.
Thanks for letting me play. I want to do it again.
Yeah. We'll work on some more dates and times, and we'll make this happen.
I love it. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. So I didn't want to overwork my other one, so I started another one, second
I'll
self-portrait.
just give great kudos for knowing that, because I don't usually figure that out until I'm 18 brush strokes past that point.
I think I might have already passed that point, but there. But
Oh,
yeah,
Wow, that's gorgeous. I love how soft the colors
Wait.
are.
Ha! Look at that. That is beautiful.
thank you.
I love your style so much.
That's real art right there. That's
Everybody's real art.
Oh,
In
Laura
a
did an
good way.
awesome solo show that had the coolest stuff in it, and it was all traditionally done, and it just rocked.
Thank you. I remember that fondly. I also remember it burned me out for like 2 years.
Yeah. Well, you killed yourself to get that already, so.
I feel like it shouldn't have been so difficult, but it was. So I'm planning to try and get another solo show up, or I should probably ease into it. I should probably just have like a show, maybe with one other person. Not this year, but like next year.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah, because I feel like between the Elmira Arts Council and your ties to the Corning Art Council, like there should definitely be space for that.
Yeah, the Arts Council does these little pop-up things around, and I might actually look into doing that because that would be way less stressful. It's not like it's not like 171,
Right.
which is an art center with a pretty decent sized gallery, and that was what my first show was. I probably should have started with something a little bit smaller.
Nah. You're in the go big or go home.
no kill like overkill.
Go and home and cry. What layer am I on? That's a great question.
remember, children, name your layers. It's helpful.
Really?
Never.
It's amazing how long that took me to figure out to actually do that.
Oh, funny.
I have yet to do that. I'll do it at the end of a project, but when I'm going, I just go.
Yeah, honestly, I probably would do it like halfway through. Or like I'd been working on it for an hour, and then I'll be like, oh, I should do this thing because I'm starting to get confused.
I do it as a way to like take a break. Like, oh, I need to give my shoulder a rest or something, so I'll just like name my layers. But yeah, unless I'm doing an effect, just assume that I'll figure it out. Every new brushstroke goes on a different layer, and we die like men.
Yeah, because I'm still obviously getting the hang of this, I definitely just kept making new layers to add new stuff on it because that was easier. But now I have 10 layers going and none of them make any sense. So it's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, your eyes look really pretty, Kristen. I mean, in real life.
Oh,
too,
thank you.
You're drawing.
Well, I mean, whichever way.
Look at that. Look how
Ooh,
pretty.
wow.
I am
Oh,
attempting.
pretty.
It's so clean.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, and I keep forgetting what my layers on. Yeah, I'm trying to do that thing. I've always found like the instant make it look good is just color your lines.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
Randall, I still remember when you first told me like your cheat to doing that, and it blew my mind. Where I was just like, oh my God, that's incredible. Because I am solidly in camp, hard black outline till I die.
Yeah, I was actually just over here changing mine. And I was like, do I want to do all of the lines in different colors? Or am I just going to be lazy and change them all to like a purple? Guess what I
Is your
did?
method the same way as mine, where you just have one layer over top of it with a layer mask on?
It could be, but if I was actually doing that, yes, that's how I did it the last time.
My cat is torturing my husband. I'll be right back.
What they're great at.
Does Clip Studio have? Does it? I don't know if it does.
Does it have what?
So what's so funny is I use Clip Studio, or this is its older predecessor, Manga Studio, to
Mhm.
do drawing in because I like its brushes and its touch sensitivity and everything so much better. But I'm a Photoshop master at heart, so whenever there's something that like I really wish I could do in Photoshop, I don't know how to do it in Clip Studio, and for some reason I've just never bothered to watch tutorials. I'm just like, I know programs.
No, that's
just
really funny because
figure it
I'm
out.
exactly the same way. And I will just like sit there and stew about it and be angry about the fact that I cannot figure out how to do it in Clip Studio, even though I could literally just go on YouTube and watch a video and probably learn it. But I'm just like, I'll just be mad and force myself to do it.
Right? It's like, no, I should figure this out because, you know, I could pick up any program and learn it in minutes. So it's got to be here somewhere. But so I know Clip Studio has layer masks, but does it have clipping masks? Because that's usually how I do any sort of like shading. I clip the shadow layer to my base color layer.
Yeah, I want to say yes, but I want to say I did it accidentally once and I have no idea how I got there. And, you know,
I can
just
usually just right click and then it's, hey, does anyone in the chat who knows Clip Studio, like, can you clip a layer? Combine layers, merge, selection from layer. No, that's just a layer mask. Make outside selection. Maybe you can't. I don't know.
Oh, weird.
Well, and it's another one though where I really need to go in and just reset my shortcuts in Clip Studio because I still hit things that were my shortcuts in Photoshop. And they're like, why won't it work? I'm like, because you just need to go in and set it. And I was like, that's too much work. I'm not going to do that. Because why could I make things easier for myself when I could just sit here and be cranky about it?
Oh, where's my blur? Where's my blur?
It's
Wherever
actually
you-
one of the things that I've started doing lately is going into new programs and like taking the time to actually set my shortcuts to things that I want them to be.
It helps so much because I'm so much faster with my shortcuts. And I literally sit there and kick myself every time. And it was the same way with Corel because Corel, obviously, in trying not to be a just copycat of Adobe, had a lot of weird settings that we're not copying them. So, like, if you wanted to get to the text tool, it wasn't T, it was F8, which makes no sense. I'm like, I could literally reset it to T, and I just never bothered to. Because I'm a dodo head.
Language.
I know.
Pushing the limits.
Yeah, don't
with
insult the
18
dodos.
plus chat.
We done.
You should look at your photo reference, Emily. Yes, you should.
Photo reference of you?
No, I'm still being bad and not drawing me, which is why I've not shared my screen. I know. See, it's just like being in college again, where I'm trying to finish a project at the last minute.
You're like those kids that would sit in class and work on their like comics or whatever instead of actually doing the assignment.
Tell you what,
You're
though,
one of those.
I don't think anything upset me more than the time when I was in Maya class and Jesse slept through the entire lesson and then like woke up in time to start working on it. And I'd been awake the whole time and took furious notes. And he was just like, oh, we're doing this? Okay. And just started doing it. And I was like, I hate you. I hate
Oh
you
my
so much. How did you do that?
Because he's weird savant level
He was.
picking on things up.
Especially when it came to 3D. I was just like, I'm sorry, what? Yep.
Well, that's like I keep seeing all these different tutorials that people put up for like making it easier to do your comics and things like that. And they're always like, just create your scene in 3D first. And I'm like, nope.
That's a little nope for me. Well, speaking of Drawfee, where Julia's going in and like creating this whole thing, she's like, yeah, then I just rendered over it, and I'm just like, my brain just exploded.
Oh, I know.
No. There, that's the undo that I wanted.
I actually just watched the episode because I don't watch a lot of Drawfee. I wanted to like get an idea.
Yeah. No, they're fun.
She's like, I'm just gonna learn Blender for this project.
Yeah, it was insane.
You know what? I respect that.
Absolutely. No, they're fun. I would like to actually, meet them. I think that would be fun.
When we get back to a point where we can meet people again.
Yeah.
And go back to conventions, and it's
I do
been
miss
quite a year.
conventions.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I miss conventions a lot. I miss my family, like my con family. The people I only ever saw.
Con family is a serious thing.
It is a serious thing, and they're incredible people, and it just, not seeing them is heartbreaking. I know for me, I got such a great like energy boost. I mean, I was exhausted at the end of the weekends, but I'd get this energy boost and I'd be so excited to create and, reinvigorated for everything. Like it was the best feeling. And, on top of everything else, I was maybe not getting a ton of that this year.
Yeah.
If you can believe it.
It's been ages since I've gone to. We're supposed to finally get back into shows again this year.
Yeah.
Let's see how that turned out.
Yep.
Right? Like this year was the one where I was like, I'm gonna make an AA booth.
For all the alcoholics in your life.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, I was just making a bad joke because she said AA, and I said, what, for all the alcoholics in your life?
How'd you know? You don't need to call me out like that, man. Oh, no, wait. Take it back. Give me that line again. All the alcohol in your life. Do it again. Give me that line again.
I don't walk into traps, especially if I said that.
I don't trust it now.
Because the answer was like, oh, you mean you? Just walk it right on back.
Yeah, it's high functioning alcoholic. Thank you very much. All right.
As I sit here looking at my empty glass and thinking, I should really go refill that.
So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I kind of need to potty and get another beer. Maybe I'll just close my camera thing and go and do that. It's fine, guys. We got this. All right. So that's a line art layer. That's cool. You should not be there. Nope.
Oh my God, stop.
Okay, so you can merge together. Is that an animal that made that sound?
You're not far off. It's my roommate, Nelson.
Aw.
He's in the other room watching something. He must be very funny.
Go up there? No, you cannot. How do we merge you?
So, Emily, are you also working in Clip Studio right now?
I am.
Aha, so you're also trying to figure out all the bells and whistles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys? Do you want to see my thing that is totally not a self-portrait?
Yes, I would love to.
All right. Let me zoom out a little bit.
Yes, what have you abandoned us for?
What it's called is poor time management. All right.
I mean, or maybe you're just really busy.
Aw.
So
Cute.
when we
Aw.
talked about Nook's Tavern earlier, so their theme for tonight is they're both dressing up their little Animal Crossing characters as Frozen characters. So then the snowman character in the middle is a third character on the show. So it's the two hosts and then the other host all dressed up as Frozen characters in Animal Crossing style. So yeah, I'm having fun. As you can see, I'm down to now 2, 3, just 4 layers, which was down from many, many more that were up there before. So it's fun because part of it's literally like me figuring out how to use my tablet and how to get this to work. But it's been really nice. And I've been sticking with like 2 brushes that feel really good, and that's all I've been using, which is fine because I'm cutting myself a little bit of slack because it's literally the first time I'm working in it.
Are you, because I know for me in Clip Studio, there are a bunch of brushes that are available for downloads that people have made, but for some reason, I just use the defaults. Like I have 2 brushes and I've been using those nonstop for years. I was just wondering, even though I know you're brand new, if you've like kind of found like, you know what, it's just easier to just use one brush.
Definitely that. The only one I'll say is I did just download a pack. I should have sent it to you because I sent it to Randall. That was,
Yeah.
oh, what are they called? I'm totally
The
blanking.
like 1980s manga brushes. Is that the one?
Yeah, but it essentially like how they used to halftone. Like
Yeah.
they'd cut out the halftone
Oh,
paper and use
okay,
that. But they're brushes for that specifically, but they're like all different dot sizes. And yeah, actually, I don't know if he's still in chat, but I'm pretty sure Tony P sent that one over to me. But I was super, super excited about that. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Because I always want to do more with halftones. I always want to play with it. But way back with Photoshop, I could never find a good way to do it that was easy, that my brain could handle. Like I always got so frustrated with it and I would just give up. So
that would be useful because similar to you, like I always want to use halftones. And I did a Miles Morales drawing not too long ago. And I actually just like used a texture, the halftone, like I created the dots and I multiplied it and then I made it into my own brush and I was like, geez, this is a lot of work. You know, it'd be nice if someone did this for me.
there you go.
Like ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then my brain never made the connection of like, you should look it up online.
No, because as soon as I close out of my program, then my brain stops working and I can't go back.
Well, and also the thing about it is like I remember I was trying to do it following some tutorials that people had put up online for like use this method and you can get halftone really easy in Photoshop. And I would do it and it just looked like garbage.
Yep.
And I was thinking, well, maybe if I change it to all grayscale and then do the grayscale version, and no, even it didn't matter if it was color, grayscale, anything, it just always did not look great.
Nope. I remember I had a speaking of Tumblr, I had a Tumblr bookmarked that was specifically about how to build really beautiful halftones in Photoshop. And I had it bookmarked for years and years and years because the couple of times I tried it, I was like, this looks like trash though. Like none of this ends up looking how I want it to look or like theirs. And I don't know what I'm doing. And then I would feel really crappy and I wouldn't finish it. And then I would give up.
Mood.
Yeah. When I remember it like then I was like, okay, so I'm working in CorelDRAW a lot more. So I'm working in vector, so I can just build, thousands of little circles and do all of this. But it, at least for what I was doing in Corel, it did not like any of the halftone stuff because you'd start to have all of these elements. And even if you were combining them into one like unit, it still saw it as all of these things and the program would start to chug. And for what I was doing, then trying to print it onto shirts and send it to our DTG printer and all that, it just, none of it was working. So again, I was like, here's this other way that I could have done it and it's still not working. And I don't have the brain space for this. I don't do it enough to make it worth the amount of headache that this is causing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I got interested in halftone until they came out with a brush for it.
Oh, yay, Tony's still here. Yes. Thank you, Tony. Thank you from all of us.
Yes, thank you. as soon as I get around to trying Clip Studio, I definitely want to give those a shot.
Well, I don't know if you were looking into it recently, and I don't know how long their sale went. When I picked up mine, it was for only $25 because they were running a half price sale. And they were doing that again recently. I saw they posted it on their Twitter. So you should definitely pop in because $25 is not bad for program. Like, and it's got this whole section that's supposed to be dedicated for comic creation with all the like panel things, which I was part of the reason why I really wanted to do it, because I wanted to start doing more comics again. But it's even got an animation section that I've obviously done zero with, but
What is this?
Clip Studio.
Oh, okay.
Again, could I just watch a YouTube video and learn? 100%. Have I? Nope, I haven't.
It's like you make YouTube videos. You're not going to watch them. What?
Yeah. Just sick brain.
Okay, so I'm
Brain that
almost
can't
finished
prioritize.
with my base colors.
They look
Those
good.
look so much better. Like, I've found that when I start adding little tiny hairs and things like that, like flyaways, it just all of a sudden makes things look a little bit better.
Yep. It's like just enough
And I've
detail on
always
the
sort
edges.
of, yeah.
And I think
Like, I
it's
used to never do that. I used to, like, my hair is all clean and solid lines, but then as soon as you start adding the little imperfections, then it makes it look more real.
Well, and again, like we were talking about, because we don't actually have to animate these, you can throw a little bit more of that detail in without losing your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, I can actually make my eyebrows look hairy because they are.
So I was actually just talking with Kristen earlier and discussing how it's difficult when you draw yourself in like an anime style, especially for me, because almost no characters have beards.
no.
So, or if they do, it's like an old man beard or, something along
It's
those
just
lines.
those single lines. Like,
Yeah.
It looks like the beard's plastered on their face or something.
Yeah, like really bad spirit gum.
Exactly. So when I went to do my self-insert character for the Ronin Warriors recently, that's when I was like, do I even want to attempt a beard? Is it going to look weird?
No, I
Which
thought that was
And
ultimately-
now you
great.
have Colonel Sanders' beard, so I'm okay
Yeah.
with it.
Well, I also loved, and I obviously I know the story, but talk us through, because you did a really cool effect on top of that to get the final view of that.
Yeah. So when I did that, let's see, maybe I can actually pull it up. I was trying to go for that really old school 1980s VHS sort of degradation to it. And so I threw on all these layers. And let's find it. Open with Photoshop. There we go. And so I went in and took the time to actually do the ghosted lines and stuff around the edges.
Yeah. Oh, it looks so cool. And it looks like it. Like, obviously the horizontal lines are kind of the easiest shorthand for that, but all of that just like slight offset, it worked perfectly, and you knew like it emulated that look so accurately. I just loved it.
It was one of those weird things that like I remember watching something, I think it was Tenchi Muyo on Blu-ray, and I was so used to watching it on those old like VHS and DVD versions where it had that ghosted outline next to all the line art.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know if it was the compression or whatever they used, but seeing it perfectly clean on Blu-ray was just so weird.
Yeah. Well, especially with a lot of, like, I always think of Tenchi because that was one of the ones that was still done old school. Like, some of the newer anime looks gorgeous because it's so clean, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh, but it doesn't look real because it's not a, you know, a hand drawn or hand painted cell. I liked Tenchi. I liked all 3 iterations of Tenchi.
Well, now there are like 5.
Yeah, I don't even. I'm so far behind on everything. It's not even funny. I will say, so my students, their big thing, the one they're always giving me crap about not being up on, is My Hero Academia. That seems to be like, for the students that I teach for this area, like that's the one that has caught them the most, which I think is kind of funny. But they was like, Miss Emily, which one do you like? And I was like, oh, kids, I like Cowboy Bebop, but you should not watch that. Not for a little bit.
I've had some massive enjoyment with my students because I teach. I believe, Emily, I teach a little older.
Yeah, I'm in the.
Than you. I teach college.
I'm middle school to high school.
Or do you, high school, yeah. So not too much difference, but so it was. I forget what the project was, but it was something where we were doing After Effects, and we were doing like fire, lightning, like element effects, and I even like made the joke of like, oh, you have to videotape yourself in front of a green screen, and you have to do something with the effect, and you can even do a Kamehameha if you want. And they like couldn't fathom the fact that I knew what Dragon Ball Z was. And then I made sure like throughout the semester to name drop things. Like I forget what it was. But like the Eternal Dragon came up, and I'm like, oh, Shenron's cool, but he's got nothing on Purunga. And I remember I had this one student that like flipped out. He's like, how do you know that name? I was like, how do you not know that name, kid? Like, I'm old school DBZ. I got this. You don't know. And so I had one student who like, for some After Effects project, he like comped himself into Persona 4. And he started to like explain to me what this was, because you know he has to explain like the whole, or Persona 3, sorry, the whole like going into a TV thing. And I'm like, no, I got you. Like,
no, bro, I know.
no, I got this. So I'll always have those like, like the anime nerds in class, and they always incorporate their passions into their projects, and I actually kind of encourage it because it's really fun when they what was one? Oh. They had to do a logo for a animal adoption agency, and I had one girl whose logo, she did Cube from Madoka Magica as like an adoption thing. So I gave her like the normal critique that you have to give, like, you know, on the design elements of it. But then at the bottom I said like, and I will not sign a contract. I just wanted her to know that I knew what she'd done there.
Oh, that's great. Well, and I think it's fun too because, you know, when I start to realize, like, in the kids, and the first thing that I really found that was Pokemon. Like, some of my middle school students are like, well, you wouldn't know this. And I was like, you mean this evolution? And they're like, wait, really? And I was like, guys, Game Boy, like original Game Boy, I started playing Pokemon on. Yes, I know Pokemon. Yes, I watched the TV show, like all of these things. But it's neat because I really start to think, and I start to realize that even though this stuff is so much more prevalent now, there's still not as many people who know it. And so, you know, having somebody who is like, no, I like this nerdy thing that you like, that is still kind of not as mainstream, even though you can find stuff for it at Hot Topic. Like, it's still not mainstream. And that's
validation.
Fun. Yeah, especially in middle school. I was like, guys, this is hard enough. Like, no, let you go be a weird anime freak. You'll be fine. You got this.
You'll be fine. On the same Pokemon thing, I had one student who it was for, what was it for? It was for like color theory or something, and she decided like, I'm going to analyze all the like legendaries of each generation of Pokemon and like their color meanings, which was really cute. But then that was a huge discrepancy because I realized all these kids were born after first gen, or at least they were too young to know first gen. So here I am like, she breezes through the first gen, and I'm like, no, wait, that's the one I know. Like, bring it back. Yeah. And then she goes forward, and she goes over the ones that her and the rest of the class, and they're shouting out, like, which one's their favorite gen or which one's their favorite legendary, and past two, I'm just like, cool. That's, like, that was one where I definitely didn't know as much as because I didn't follow Pokemon past a certain gen, but
No, and
so it was neat to see that like generational, like I had my Pokemon, then there was a gap where no one knew like Gen 4 or 5, and then they had their Pokemon.
well, and then I love, you know, throwing out. I mean, Digimon's always fun because I swear none of them ever know Digimon. But my favorite was I threw out Zoids because that was just off enough. But it was right around that like same time of stuff I was watching on TV, and they're like, "What is this?" I was like, "Aw, sweet baby angels." You're
The
so
epiphany moment of like, we missed this.
missed this. We have to go back. Yeah. And then, you know, and again, and I realize, and I kick myself for this because I become that person where I start to say, like, you kids don't realize how good you have it because it's so much easier to find this shit now than it ever was for me. And I was like, don't say it, Emily. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't be that one.
Don't be that person. What was that, Laura?
My kids introduce stuff to me. I mean, I show them things also, but as far as media goes, they're always like, "Have you seen this new animation? You have to go check it out." And I'm like, "But it's on Hulu. I don't want to go and do that." But actually, I think I will at some point because there's a lot of good stuff that I've been meaning to check out.
Well, and I think I'm impressed too because, you know, I played sports growing up. I did a lot of stuff. I didn't just do art. And definitely some of the students that I teach, art is pretty much the thing that they do. Like they consume artistic media or play games and then do art. And that's really all they're doing. And like,
yeah,
the amount of stuff that they're tearing through is kind of incredible. And so I'm almost like, no, you go out, do that. Report back to me. Let me know what you think and what you liked. And then maybe I'll check it out after, you know, all my little robots do the research for me.
That's kind of like, it's very useful for me because I can like find really cool stuff without having to try too hard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got Major Zoids love happening in the chat. That makes me so happy. Thank you, Slayer Braxis and Glorminator. And thank you, Kurtstable. Oh, are you guys done already? How did the stream go? Let's see so we can get the series back on the community. Music fan. I loved it. I loved the costume design. And it's so funny because I watched so many mech shows. Ask me if I ever drew anything mecha because I 100% didn't and never want to. I didn't draw Transformers. I didn't draw Gundam. I didn't draw shit. But like the character designs, yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Zoids was fun.
Oh, those Gundam Wing boys.
Oh my god. So fun.
Oh my god.
So damn fine.
I always love drawing those little terrorists.
I feel like I want to go back and watch, but I know some of it's going to be rough.
No, you don't. So, well, maybe you do. I don't know. Your taste might be different than mine, but I remember going back and trying to watch it recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, this show is so long, and all the episodes are just like political intrigue, and I'm like, I am bored enough watching like any of that in real life. I don't know if I can handle like...
So, I think even as a kid, I was like, they felt long. And so like as an adult, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this. Like it didn't work for Star Wars. Like galactic politics really only hits a very small margin of people. But
I feel like politics is there. It's interesting enough as it is. We don't need to like watch entertainment with it.
Where's this damn layer coming from?
There was so much. Like the world building that Gundam Wing did was insane. It was insane. And it kills me too because again, God, we're so fucking old. It's fine. These were, you know, weekly shows released on Toonami. And if you missed an episode, like the amount of information that they packed into those episodes, even though they were slow sometimes, like then you'd be like, you'd get to Zex or something like that. And you're like, who the frig is Zex? Like, he's part of which coalition? But wait, I thought they were the good guys, but they're the bad guys, but they're not the bad guys because they're working. Wait, what? Yeah.
And this one is bad, but not really because she's kind of mind controlled and she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And that's how they get your money.
Well, and I think I remember really enjoying 8th MS Team, but
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if that was just because it was like one season and 18 episodes or something like that.
It was like maybe 10 or 11. It really wasn't even that
It
long.
was short. It was short.
It had a really long production schedule too, like when it originally came out. So I think that's part of it, is they were able to take their time doing the animation stuff. It still holds up. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, that one was gorgeous. I mean, like they were talking about it in chat, Endless Waltz. Like
Yeah.
I still listen to that song because that Endless Waltz song is phenomenal. And I'll watch AMVs with that all day long. Switch that and the Neon Genesis sound and just all of them. I'll lose an afternoon. Yeah.
That is not the right color.
That Gundam was, well, and I think that was something that even literally as someone who holds a degree in animation, I still can't wrap my brain around how you can animate that many mechs. I can't. Like, I can't. It doesn't make sense to me. But, yeah. Oh, Gundam. This is a callback to something we were talking about way earlier, but I finally put a background on my drawing, which all I can think of is being in class with Stiers and him encouraging you to put a very like low saturated background on it because you could then catch any spots that you were missing in like colors and stuff like that. And I literally caught a few spots. I was like, look at that. I should know better by now, but
I definitely don't draw on just a plain white background anymore. I always put usually like a desaturated gray on it, or grayish blue. Mainly because eye strain. I find that if you have like that medium grayish blue color, it really helps keep your eyes from getting too tired.
Yeah. No, that white was just painful. Even the no background, the checkerboard, like even that is eye strain exhausting. So
That's why I stretch now too. I'm getting old. I can't do that stuff anymore. I have to stop periodically and just be like, if you don't stretch while you're working, you will regret it later.
I don't even think that's an old thing. I think that's just a healthy thing that we should all do that we don't.
We should. I never did it until I got older. How about that?
Well, I know I hurt a lot more if I don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm also realizing because I'm kind of like I was leaning towards my computer to check the one thing, but also working on my new tablet. Like I was keeping my neck at a really weird angle, and I was like, I'm starting to get tired. What? Oh, that's probably why.
Probably.
Ooh.
I'm doing that
go ahead.
thing where I colored part of it, but now I have to like finish inking the rest of it because I do things out of order. I'm trying to like work up the motivation.
I think Nicole, are you already on your background?
I'm pretty much done.
Yay!
I'm scared to touch it more because I feel like it's only gonna get worse. So.
Well, it looks cool. I'm gonna highlight it because I want to see. It looks really fun.
Thank you.
Oh,
I like it.
I like the
That is super
sunglasses.
Yeah, the sunglasses are awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that's actually an actual picture that was taken of me without me knowing. So I felt like,
Absolutely.
I like your hair in that a lot too. I like the twisty.
Yeah.
The hair came out really nice.
Thank you.
Very cool.
And the like blur of the background, that always just makes it look so good.
Yeah.
And the background has that like slight.
Yeah,
Well,
I was trying to
and
do like a wood grain on the table, but it just didn't look right. So I felt like, I can blur it.
Well, I think too, because you've got such great detail in your hair and parts of it, like I think detail in the background would just pull your eye away from that. And yeah, no, you as the center focus of that, I think is way better.
Yay. Validation from actual artists.
Hey man, we do art on the internet. We're consummate professionals. Okay, so I meant to call out Slayer Braxis had talked about Blood Orphans, which I super don't remember for Gundam.
Mm-mm.
Tell us more, Slayer Braxis. Tell us more.
I mean, I used to watch Orphan, which was like the little sorcerer guy, and they had a
Oh, I
PS2
remember Orphan, yeah.
and yeah, it had some really cool animation, at least in the first season.
Yeah, it did. I hate Freckles. I hate you.
Oh,
I hate you all.
why are we on white? I have
You
endless
shame
thoughts
me, Freckles.
and totally unrelated PSA, but once the world isn't on fire, or possibly even before, make sure you get your moles checked and freckles checked. Here's my skincare.
Probably a good idea.
Yes. Although, I mean, upside, after having melanoma removed, I got a really badass scar on my back now. So that's dope. But what
Yeah,
is
that
Silver
was,
lining?
Hmm?
Silver lining.
Silver lining. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real treat to see when it was still fresh.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I will never forget that.
I'm a good friend.
Like those kids that stand around the school ground and they're like, "Hey, look what I did yesterday," and they like peel back their Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When it was crazy too, I will not get into quite as much detail, but because of the size of the melanoma that they removed from my back, they had to kind of cut in a decent amount, and it looked like someone had taken like an ice cream scoop melon baller to that part of like by my shoulder blade. Like it's much more smoothed out now, but for a while I was like, oh, that's rough. All right. So yeah, good times.
Probably not nearly as bad, but this was like years ago. I had staph infection and I had it on my back shoulder, and they had to do something like that where they like carved out this infected tissue from staph. And yeah, it's like you have a little crater right there.
Yeah.
Obviously not as bad as yours. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
It
but
was just
considering some of the medical crap you've had to go through, I don't want to go toe to toe with you on that. I think you win.
I'm not making it a competition. But if I was.
Ryder, on your mole thing, if you think there's a problem, insist on getting it checked out, because I had a mole that they ended up having to take it off my face. It was not cancer, but it was like they had to remove it.
That's
but
always
when I went in, like they were like, "Well, it looks fine," and I'm like, "Well, it didn't look fine a week ago."
Yeah.
And they didn't believe me, but they were like, "Well, we'll just do this to make you feel better." And they did like the test or slice that they do,
Biopsy. Yeah.
biopsy. And then they called me back and they're like, "We have to take it all out. Who would have thunk it?" And I was like, "I thought that."
Me? I believe I said that.
I funked it. It was me.
Funny.
They probably didn't even remember telling me that it wasn't a big deal, but I remember I was very annoyed.
Yeah.
I am sufficiently freckled.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, wait. I got stuff happening. Okay. All right. So, Iron-Blooded Orphans is one of the more popular Gundam series with some really great designs of characters. Blood Orphans is the most recent Gundam series. Okay. Oh, Barbados and Barbados Rex are really unique within the Gundam aesthetic. Hey, we're getting rated. Thank you, Pokemon Go podcast. Hi, guys. It's so weird. I'm still getting used to seeing it in StreamYard instead of in Twitch. So I'm getting used to the notification scroll in there. But thanks so much for coming and hanging out. That's awesome, guys. Got some fun faces happening.
Oh my gosh, where's my sketch?
Okay, I think I'm at the stage where I don't want to touch this one anymore either.
Okay, wait. I want to highlight you. Go. Look at that. Oh,
Wow, that's beautiful.
I
I
love
know
that.
it's a little weird, but
no, I like it. I like the glasses too. They came out really nice. I always struggle with getting the glasses to not look really wonky on my face. But those
yeah. And mine are like peachy. They're basically like the same color as my skin, so it's really even harder.
Right. Yeah, they kind of have that see-through quality, which I think watercolor lends itself to, but doesn't make it any actually easier to execute.
No.
Yeah, so I'll send out, I know we've talked about this before, so anybody who's been hanging out with us in chat for a while, I apologize for the repeated things, but if anybody who is new and joining us would like to know more about the artists we have featured, let us know. We can pop those prompts in the chat so you can follow these incredible people and see the other art that they're doing.
If I finish it,
That's not a prerequisite. Like, none of the art ever has to be finished. Like, I would like to use art that we do in posts to promote stuff, but I'm not fancy. It doesn't have to be tonight. I'm not putting together a post tonight. I'm finishing this artwork. I'm taking a shower and I'm going to bed. So, you know, but I like the wrap up, especially because, like I said, this video will be available on Twitch for a couple of weeks. And, you know, we got some good traction on our promo. So I think showing the people what we did is good times. Even if it's
I'm
unfinished.
definitely at the point where I need to stop procrastinating with this.
Yeah, so I needed to record a video for my Twitch channel today. I needed to do it for a while once we've really started talking about Doodle Crew and everything. It didn't take me more than 20 minutes to actually do it. Did I procrastinate for weeks doing it? I did. I was like, why? This isn't even that hard. You just have to sit and talk for like 60 seconds. That's it. Nope. I sit there with myself. I'm like, why are you this way? But I think it was, again, through Instagram, got the great term, which I will now use forever, and that is procrastinativity. And nothing has ever summed up my life better. And it's you're procrastinating on what you need to do, but you're still being productive. So while I need to do just like one piece of artwork, I will do my laundry, wash my dishes, and like clean the bathroom and do all that, vacuum my apartment, but still not do the one art thing that I need to do. But I'm still being really productive. I'm just not finishing the one thing I need to actually do.
I like that. I do that all the time, and that makes me feel slightly better about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy, my apartment never looks cleaner than when I'm on a friggin' art deadline.
Hey, Emily, can I make a request?
Sure.
Can I see what other artists are doing?
Sure.
We haven't had a progress in a while.
Right. Here's Randall.
Oh, I like the shading on your hair a lot.
Thank you.
I like your hair a lot. Yeah. No, that's really cool. I like what you're doing with the beard.
It's slowly getting there. It's at that weird spot where like things are still sticking out because they're not blended yet.
Yeah. All right. Hopping over to Nicole. See, Nicole is fast, and she actually got hers done. So now she has to just relax.
Oh, that's right. Nicole's got. I didn't know if you were doing the second one, Nicole. Sorry. Yeah, you already did show us that yours was done.
That's okay. New people haven't seen. So this is no, you're good. And go to Laura.
That's
Laura
number
two.
That was
the one
I
on the
like
right
her.
has such nice colors with the yellows and the blues.
Yeah, I love that blue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the yellows and the blues. So good.
Mm-hmm.
When
I
I really
also like the shading around the eyes a lot.
Yeah. No, I like the maroon and purple one because it really matches your actual hair color so much, and they blend together really well. I just love that.
Yeah, I was trying to capture. It's surprisingly hard to capture faded, dirty purple.
Dirty.
Not dirty. Muted. It's like a gray purple. It's supposed to be, but it's also I haven't gotten it done in a while, so
Yeah.
kind of blonde, but not. And that's why I did this in this one. I just was like, I'll put the colors I want my hair to be in the background, and then I'll just not put any color in my hair. And I feel like that works pretty well.
No, that's something I love about, I mean, like literally on my Twitch channel, I have caricatured versions of myself. And I was like, no, this isn't what I actually look like, but this is how I see myself in cartoon form. So I'm going with it. But let me switch over to you. I love, Kristen, I love the steam coming up off the mug. That looks so great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm procrastinating on, is actually like doing the arms.
Yeah, but the hair looks so good. And I like
It
how that
does.
one, the backhand turned out.
Right? Like one hand's okay. The other hand I still have to draw. We're sort of procrastinating on that. I'm doing that thing where I'm taking a break by checking all my layers. That's exactly what I said I do, like when I'm procrastinating. Those are my sketches. Yeah, I have probably like 60 layers, maybe. I don't know. Because every single color I just put on a different layer. So
Yeah.
like shadows and highlights and glows and everything like that. What is organization?
Shadows and highlights and glows. Oh my.
Oh my. All right, I should probably do this hand.
Close that. Well, that looks really cool. I really like the color you got out of your hair. That really pops out nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, with the variations? Yeah. I also do a gradient overlay.
Oh, look
Mhm.
at that.
So it adds just a little bit extra color and texture. And then also I have the shadows are not just like a darker brown. They're actually a purple. So if I bring that up, like that's the actual color.
Well, jeepers, look at you using your color theory. That looks awesome.
And then something that I've only started to do recently, but it's whatever you do to shade your hair, duplicate the layer, blur it, and then put it on like a glow effect.
Oh.
And it just sort of gives that little shine to it.
Oh God, layer styles. I love you so much.
Yeah. That's actually a weird thing why I really like Clip Studio as opposed to Photoshop, because I feel like its layer styles are a little bit stronger in the effects of, like, I don't know why, but there's
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, can I tell you something terrible? Because you are absolutely right. And I am so annoyed at myself because I have a little beef with that. Because in Photoshop, you could click on the layer style and then you could down arrow through all the different ones and see how
yeah,
they
you
go.
can cycle through. Yeah.
And I can't get Clip Studio to do that. And it pisses me off. I'm like, why won't you just do it? Yeah.
Although it only does that on a PC. Mac, you can't use the down arrows to switch to them. Although, and I'm not at all selling you on the new Photoshop, but the Photoshop CC, you don't even have to use the down arrow. You just scroll your mouse and it gives you an instant preview.
Oh my God.
So it's even faster. And I'm imagining that Clip Studio Paint will probably get there eventually.
Yeah, I would bet. But again, one of those funny, like, why is this a thing that bugs me? It's such a small little silly thing. But it bothers me. All right. Also, speaking of effects, look at my little snowflake effects, my little sparkles.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
sparkles for the win.
Sparkles.
I like that.
They look so happy. I like it.
They look like there's not a quarantine going on.
Ugh. Yeah, Emily, where are their masks, man?
Well, yeah, I know. That's because
I
an
keep
animal
thinking about
and you don't need it.
I keep thinking about making some mask art, and then I'm like, everyone's making mask art.
No, I get that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just
No,
when I think about it.
well, and I think like so many things, there are times where I'll see something that's really cool and then I'll get really intimidated by some of the other artists. And sometimes I still end up pushing through. But with the mask art, I'm just like, I wasn't really sold on it to begin with. And now I see all this other really cool stuff. And I was like, nah.
When you say mask art, what do you mean?
I was just like paintings of people wearing masks, or like artsy. I mean, they're trying to capture the feeling that we're all getting now with everything being so crazy. So yeah, art based around masks. I was going to say, I actually had a student who had an assignment that they were supposed to make masks for their art project, and she just went and she made like those full face like art mask. She just went mask. She didn't go COVID mask. And then she was basically done with it, and it was very cool. It was kind of like horror steampunky a little bit.
Ooh, I like that.
And then I guess she was really close to the end, and it occurred to her that maybe they meant COVID mask. So she did these really cool like wing things off the side, and she made them out of the disposable blue masks.
Jeez, that's awesome.
But I thought that was really fascinating.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Also slightly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just meant that she might not have been able to use that project. That's what I meant. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think she probably, if she couldn't figure out a way to incorporate the masks, she's the kind of student who probably would just have turned it in anyway, because it's technically fulfilling all of their requirements. They were not
right.
So.
Yeah, if you're not going to specify that it has to be a, just face covering that goes over your nose and mouth, then.
Right. I mean, and she likes that kind of thing anyway, like the mask craziness. So cosplay and costuming and all that kind of thing. So I thought that it was.
I think that'll work. If my anatomy's off, don't tell me.
I feel like the idea for this is kind of, if you want open like constructive criticism, then you say that, but if not, I have no plans to just offer it.
Blanket status that I am completely happy with constructive criticism at all times, because I have zero confidence in anything I draw, and if you tell me it's wrong, then I know to fix it later, like for future.
Nope, I default to the thing I posted in our Discord that, it's like, do you take constructive criticism? And the person already in tears, yeah, that's fine. What's up?
What's going on? Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, I take it. I'm fine.
You want to tell me you love it? It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
All right, save.
What's the matter? My dog is distressed.
That's okay. My housemate is assembling her new furniture, and all I hear above my head is excessive pounding.
Did you guys hear pounding earlier?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. My husband was downstairs working on our in progress bathroom, and he was like, "There's going to be some pounding. I hope that's okay." And I was like, "That's fine. I don't think anyone will hear it."
Yeah, no, you're good. Okay. Mm. Excuse me.
Whoa.
Good woe or bad woe?
Okay, well,
Yes.
Yes to your statement, Bean. I think after your stream today, you have fulfilled your art quota for the day. How did your bottle opener turn out?
There was a bottle opener.
Yes, so he's in chat right now. He is Forging Winton. I know him as Bean. That's how I met him. But he is like blacksmith metal worker, and has set up his own stream now in like a garage setting where he's got his forge and he's doing metalworking live on stream. And
That's
it's
so
very
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it's super cool.
Wow.
Yeah, let me wait. Hang on.
That is amazing skill that can't even fathom.
Yeah, no, it's very, very cool. All right, so forging. Let me grab this and pop this in. Boop. Bam. All right, there. Sending that in the chat. Oh wait, can I do it? Ha 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 ha! Look at that. So there, I'm learning the Streamlabs thing, StreamYards thing. Yeah, so he is twitch.tv/Forging Winton. Yeah, so super, super cool. That's awesome. And it's something totally different. I've literally never seen anybody else doing that on a stream. So that's very, very awesome. Yeah, I figure if you guys are up for it, probably go about a half an hour more and call it at 10, because that will have been 3 hours. And yeah.
Works for me.
Yep.
Stretch.
Works for me, although I may have to leave a little bit early.
No, you're good.
My dog is distracted. Well, I realized why my cats were torturing my spouse was because their dinner time had come and gone.
Oh no.
I forgot to feed them. So,
Oh no.
hey, do you guys want to see my dog?
Yes.
When don't we want to see a dog?
Okay, hold on. I gotta figure this out. You can see a tail. You gotta get it out of the way.
Oh, hi, baby.
There he is.
Hi.
You're
Oh,
saying hi to the world, buddy.
you're so sweet.
Look at that tail.
I
Look at
know
that
it,
tail.
He's a cutie. Hello.
baby.
And now I'm giving him attention.
Now he is happy.
Let's see. That kind of works. Oh, he's bringing me a toy now. Does everyone there have pets, or only some people have pets? I feel like I just assume everyone has pets because I have so many, but I'm sure that's not true.
I do not.
I have two cats, and in fact, one of them is new. I just adopted her. Like,
Aw.
That's exciting. Kitten or cat?
she's a kitten. I needed a companion for my cat because she, with me working from home, she's starting to get separation anxiety.
Oh,
So I needed something to, like, some sort of companion animal for her. And she's a very territorial cat, so kitten ended up being the best bet. And it's actually worked out wonderfully so far.
That's awesome.
Emily, I forgot you didn't have any pets.
No,
Been
I
forever
house
since
sit.
you've seen
I house sit a lot, so I would borrow pets very
Oh.
frequently, who then would all try and kill themselves for the 2 days that I was there, but yes. No, my sister has a bunch of cats, so and I definitely go back and forth where I was like, I could have a cat, that'd be fun. But then I also look at like all of the art supplies I have around, and I was like, you would have to train this cat, and yeah, now would have been the time to do it because I'm home all the time, but
Or they train you.
they train me, not wrong. I also might be a little bit afraid because if I get a cat that is still relatively young, like it's going to then reflect all my neuroses back on me as it picks up my traits. And I don't know if I need that level of reality in my life right now.
Well, if you can visit other people's pets, then that's totally fun too.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
why I'm an aunt. Nicole and Randall, how about you guys?
I do not have any pets, unfortunately.
Same. I wish I could have a dog, though. I would love to have a dog.
yeah. Your apartment complex doesn't allow them, do they, Randall?
The neighbors have a cat,
Okay.
but nobody in the building has a dog. And I'm pretty sure when I first got this lease that it said no pets.
Yeah.
And then when I renewed it, they said, well, you can have one cat. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Just one. Only one cat.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm allergic to cats, so that would not be a
Oh.
fun time.
That is a bummer. As much as I love my cats, I probably won't get more after. Well, maybe. It depends on how. I found out I was allergic after I've had them both for like 3 years, so not
really?
getting rid of them, but you keep me from breathing properly.
Bean, what do you know of my accidental pets? They didn't die by my hand. Was it ADD? It must have been ADD. When I was on the episode I was on, I got talking about, because we had an episode about pets, and I grew up on a farm and all of our animals lived outside, and my parents' house and the barn are separated by a paved road that people drive way too fast down. So we had a high mortality rate for pets. Yeah, but I think yeah, it's a weird thing. And again, we were out, they have a lot of land and there's coyotes and bears and all sorts of other things. So we definitely had, some animals that didn't make it. We'll say the closest that little Emily ever got to that crossroads of becoming a serial killer or becoming a normal human.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we had chickens. But we also had horses at the time. So the thing with horses is you can't use barbed wire because they are actually smart enough. Like the cows will kind of just lean into it and be like, oh, that's bad. And their hides are a bit tougher, so it won't really hurt them. But the horses have thinner skins and they'll actually like panic and get caught in them. So the barbed wire can cause a lot of damage to horses. So we use the electric fence. And for some reason, I don't remember, I was like 4 at the time. So I'm a very, very small human at the time. But there was an electric fence that was laying down like from the opening of the barn door out to the little like pump house thing where a lot of the controls were and everything. And I loved this outfit and I wish they made it for adults. So it was like a little jumper thing, but it had these humongous pockets in it. And I had all the chicken feed in it. So I'm out there and I'm just throwing out the chicken feed and everything's good. And I'm having a blast and my dad's in the barn working and everything. And all of a sudden I find like the chickens have pecked over and they peck onto the electric fence and they go woo and fly up in the air and lose their shit. And little Emily was like, well, that was friggin' cool. Let's do that again. So I might have kept throwing the feed so that the chickens would peck over and do it. And because they're not the smartest creatures, they would keep doing it. And my dad comes out because he keeps hearing all the chickens going nuts. He's like, what is happening? And he's like, Emily, what are you doing? I was like, look.
You weren't kidding. Serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally the
scary.
moment my dad was like, okay. So,
We're
Did he
gonna
sit you
take
down
it
and have
therapy now.
He sits you down and have that talk about not torturing
Not
animals.
torturing the animals. Yeah, I think his moment was like, he's like, okay, so yes, they have a very small brain, but that's really mean and you shouldn't do that. And I was like, oh, is it hurting them? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, so you shouldn't do that. I was like, oh, okay, I won't do that anymore. But like, I can only imagine like my adult father at the time and being like, oh boy, this is an important moment. We really need to hit this one home so that she doesn't become a serial killer. So, yep, there you go. None of them died.
Wow. You're the most cheerful
Well,
serial killer
that's
I've
a
ever
good way
met.
to end that story.
None of them died. Yes, very, very cheery. Also, like, I think it's funny too, because I literally have no poker face. Like, I have no lying face. So, like, I would never be able to get away with any of it. And yeah, it's just, yep. So, yeah, good time for the chickens. That was the most destructive towards the animals I ever got. I learned. Don't electrocute the chickens. Oh.
That's the
But yeah.
moral. That's the lesson of today. Like the
Don't
real morality lesson.
Yep.
Hey, kids.
Learn from the Doodle Crew. Don't electrocute the chickens. We did though. I remember being really, really bummed out because the neighbors had jerk dogs that they never, like, they didn't take care of them, but then they also would just let them like off leash and everything. Obviously, we're out in the country, so off chain and all of this, and they would just roam around and they'd run in the road and they'd scare the horses, and it was just, they were really shitty. But at some point, those dogs got into the chicken coop and they killed a bunch of the chickens. And rather than just like take them and drag them away, they killed them and then they deposited them for us on our front porch. Be like, here, look, we've killed them for you. So we came out in the morning to a whole bunch of destroyed chickens, which was really upsetting.
If my cat could tackle a chicken, he totally would do that. He would line them up, the little corpses. He really is prolific.
Yeah. Well, and I love because we've had chickens again recently, and I had kind of forgotten because obviously I was much younger when we had them originally. But like, one, they're terrors, like they're little dinosaurs. But two, there's no loyalty. Like when one of the chicken, like they picked the one chicken where they're like, we don't like this one, and they like all of them would gang up on this one chicken and like peck her feathers off and peck her raw. Not any of the other ones, just that one. And then unfortunately, when she did end up passing away, they ate her because they don't care. And I'm just like, oh my God.
So does anyone remember there was a TV show on Animal Planet called Meerkat Manor, which was they just put a bunch of wildlife cameras around this actual wild meerkat den in Africa. And then they took all the footage and comped it together to make this like soap opera drama regarding these meerkats, and they named them and they gave them little like. Does anyone remember this?
Oh yeah,
I remember it, but I never watched it.
So I just imagine Emily doing the same thing with your chickens, and like Henrietta and Susan just can't get along today, and then what's Philip doing here? Like just having this like telenovela-esque drama with your chickens, just filming them.
Yeah,
it's the real life ends of Corning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not wrong. Like that's definitely not beyond. Like my imagination as a kid was insane because I was an only child for a long time and there weren't close neighbors, so I spent a lot of time by myself. So yeah, that's
only child dance. Yep, got that.
Yep. Until
you have to entertain yourself a lot.
Yeah. And then I asked Santa for a sister. But there was a little bit of miscommunication because when I asked for a sister, what I actually meant is I would like an adult play friend, not a baby. And yeah, she's delightful. I adore her. But as a 10-year-old with an infant sister, I was just like, what is this crap? This isn't cool. It just cries. It cries and poops all the time. This is it? This isn't fun. I can't play with this at all.
I don't remember ever wanting a sister, but I have one, and she's pretty cool.
I wanted a sister desperately. And I remember like trying to convince my parents to get me one. Like it was something they could just go get.
Like just go down to the the baby pound and pick one out. I'll help you.
Also, I watched a lot of PBS as a kid, like most kids would have. And PBS always had those like starving children in Ethiopia commercials where it's like send 10 cents a day or something like that.
Yeah.
And when I told my parents, like, oh, I would really like a little brother or sister, that's actually kind of what I meant. I'm like, I want a pen pal. I want someone that I can like have a connection with. I don't really want something that I have to take care of.
Yeah.
But they never like quite understood that. So they would just try to like take me to their friends who had kids and like, here, you just want a playmate. And I'm like, no, not really. Take me home. This isn't what I wanted.
No, take it back. I don't want it. Oh, funny.
Well, my little sister's got 3 kids now, so I get to have fun being the cool aunt.
Aunt is great. I was
great.
very happy with Aunt. I was like, whoa, this is fun. We get to have fun, then I get to give them back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an aunt.
Well, I'm in a low-key competition with my brother-in-law's sister as to who's going to be the cool aunt. Actually, I'm not sure if she knows that it is a competition, but I've declared it. So
Oh my gosh.
that
makes it
she's
so
really
much
cool.
better.
She's just really cool though. She teaches elementary school, like 6th grade or whatever. So she's got like craft stuff bursting out of the seams at her house, just like random crafts and toys. And I'm like, I don't have that. But I get some pretty cool stuff. So
the realization that I'm not the crafty aunt. Like drawing, yes, crafting is something totally different. But one of my favorites with the former family was my knowledge of Star Wars. Like it was 3 little guys, and they had one of the little like it's the 20 questions cube, but it's the 20 questions about Star Wars characters. They're like, well, blah blah blah, and this and everything. I was like, all right, give me one, and I ended up doing it, and it didn't get it. And they're like, how did you know this one character? And we got talking about it. I was like, guys, I love Star Wars so much. And like from then on, like we were solid. Like, and it was funny. So I don't actually know how this happened, but growing up, I never had any encounter with shrinky dinks. Like that was
so much fun.
right? So one of the Christmases we were up there, like they were talking about it, and I'm like, what are these? And I'm like, you've never made shrinky dinks? So we all sat around the table, and I was like, well, I want to do it now. I want to draw one. So I started drawing Star Wars characters, and they all sat down, like all the kids sat down with me, and we were all drawing it. And I was like, this is so much fun. And then we got little shrinky dink ornaments, and I loved it so much.
That's excellent. My nieces and nephew are not old enough yet to do quite that. I guess my oldest niece is close. She's like 5 or 6. See, I'm not if I were a really good aunt, I would remember exactly how old she is. So they're all pretty cool, but she's starting to like express her personality more.
I like when they start to become like little humans. Like that's really fun.
Yeah, the middle niece she's pretty cool too. She's a little more bitchy, like as far as like children bitchiness. I love her for that though. Like, yeah. I prefer my nieces to be bitchy. It's better.
That's really funny. I'm realizing too now, like I didn't deal with a lot of little girls. Like the majority of the relatives that I was dealing with were all little boys. So, which that makes sense. Like little boys and I was like, no, we're about the same mentality. So this makes sense to me. I could do this. Oh, and I meant to call out in chat. Also, thank you all for the support about how chickens are jerks. Because yes, you're not wrong. But yes, so Glorbinator called out. So I don't know any more specifics on it. So I'm throwing it out to the chat to see if you guys remember. But there was a few years ago, there's a free comic book day where I'd signed up to do art at a comic shop. So there's a whole line of us and you could just come up and request anything. We'd draw you something quick. And I had a gentleman come up to me and he requested some anime where a girl has like a little chicken companion. And like, that's what I drew. But she was very much like, she had almost like the Lolita outfit type thing, but with like a chicken companion, and like it was very loud.
Was
And
it chicken, not like a parakeet or something? Anything?
yeah, like straight up chicken. And I think he probably said what it was, but he spoke really softly and it was loud, and I'm deaf. So I definitely didn't get it. And I was like, do you have a reference picture? But yeah, like a girl with like kind of reddish hair, but she had like a chicken companion. So like I've always like, I don't know how to search for that. Be like anime with chicken, and yeah, that didn't
So not Moana.
not Moana. No, it was not Hey
There
Hey.
are surprisingly a lot that do have chickens, but I can't think of a single one that has one with a Lolita dress.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it was
That's the part that's stumping me.
I'm curious.
Yeah. So that was a random, and again, like a random thing where I was just like, I need to draw this fast because I have other stuff I have to do, but Slay Braxton says My Little Monster. Well, let me look. Let's see.
I don't think it's My Little Monster. She doesn't wear a Lolita dress in that, but she does have like reddish brown hair. How recent was this, Emily? Could be My Little Monster.
I mean, I was drawing it. Ooh, that's a feisty chicken.
Was it at least within the last 5 years?
It was in the last 5 years, yeah.
It might be My Little Monster. Like I said, I don't remember her wearing a Lolita dress, but maybe it was one of the other characters.
Yeah. Oh.
Or it might have been a fan art where they just put her in a Lolita dress.
That was the thing I was thinking too. I was like, there's a good chance that this was just a like, this is the request. Okay, so I went to the, oh God. I'm not even gonna try and say it. The fandom wiki for the chicken, and there's a gallery from the manga with a girl that maybe it was it, because it was definitely a girl. Like it wasn't the guy wasn't the main person with the chicken. This is a strange conversation. Oh yeah, maybe it was her. All right, so yeah, there's a boy with black hair and then a girl with like orangish hair and pigtail.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. Guys, this is amazing.
Here's the fun thing about My Little Monster. It looks like just this super cute little like shoujo anime about like this delinquent and this like studious girl and this delinquent boy that sort of like have a love-hate relationship and then fall in love. It's actually he's a psychopath, like a legitimate, not a sociopath. Like he just is not okay in the head, and it would be a horror in any other context. But the show just keeps it super cute, and she just doesn't put up with his shit. So he doesn't get to do his like horror movie stuff, which he absolutely. People in the comments, please tell me if I'm right or wrong. But like, yeah, that would be like red flag territory if it wasn't so cute.
That's really funny.
It is a very, very enjoyable anime to watch, and it's one of those that has a bunch of characters that are also extremely enjoyable. But yeah, when you take like just 1 minute and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, did he just say like what I think he said?
Go back to that for a second.
Oh, the chicken. Yeah, the chicken was there. Sweep It Psycho. Yeah, Sweep It Psycho.
Also a good song by Ava Max. We're being random. All right. See, this makes me happy because these are the thoughts that run through my head when I'm like on stream by myself and just thinking, but it's nice to actually get like call and response and be like, no, that is actually a thing. You didn't just hallucinate it.
I heard a cat.
I was gonna say I heard a cat.
That is, yeah, that's my cat being a dick.
I made sure to feed mine before the stream because they would have been all up there.
Well, I already fed him, and he's still. I think he's frustrated. He's used to being able to go outside, and currently we have like almost 3 feet of snow outside. So he's and before that it was cold. He basically hasn't been able to do his normal outside thing for like 2 weeks, and he's going a bit stir crazy. So I've been trying to play with him more often, which helps. But hello, evil.
That's so weird. I can't relate to stir crazy. I'm losing my mind because my schedule is messed up.
Toothless, you want my share? No? Fine. I was willing.
So Bean had mentioned he had a cat earlier in chat. He had mentioned that he had a cat that was declawed before they got them, and he used to be a great bird catcher. And I will admit to, while I super don't think you should declaw your cats, I do take some great joy in the videos of cats that have been declawed who try and like knead and stuff on like furniture, like try and claw it up and don't do anything because it looks like the most adorable little massage. And I do really like
I had that. I had a cat who was exact same situation. I adopted her. She was a senior cat and she was declawed and I didn't know when I adopted her. And then they told me like after the adoption went through. And she would like go up and she just like pat at you like rapid fire just like on your leg. And you're like, oh, that would probably have me screaming if it wasn't for the fact that you have no claws. But she knew she didn't have claws. So that's how she would ask permission to like get on my lap and stuff.
Oh, that's kind of adorable.
It was really cute.
So, as you talked about senior cats, that was something that I had definitely considered, like getting a cat that wasn't a kitten, that wasn't super active, so that, you know, I wasn't going to be fighting that kitten run around craziness phase, but could still have, you know, some sort of contact with some other living creature.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference between the kitten stage and the. I only got my little cat as a kitten because she got dumped by her mother
Aww.
under our shed. My other cat, he was like a year old when we got him, which is still like it's young enough that he's still, you know, kitten-ish, but he's not wasn't nearly as much work as a kitten.
Yeah.
How is the art going?
Are you done?
No.
I was going to say, to anybody specific or?
Luck of the draw. Who wants to show off?
So, I actually started drawing myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hooray!
welcome to class. Glad you could join us.
Look at me, I'm just so happy to be here.
Aw, very cute.
He's so happy.
So cute.
I look a little possessed right now because I don't have eyeballs, but
That's not the reason.
yeah, that's fair. All right.
Leave it like that, or like make them go caterwonk or something.
Would not be the first time, but look at you, Dream Daddy.
Getting there.
Yeah, the shading on your face is looking really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really like the soft, especially around your eyes. That
Yeah.
actually looks like you, like the depth of your eyes and everything like that, and that, you know, duck pout. But still, the eyes.
You look
That's what
appropriately pouty.
The signature pout.
Hey man,
really nice.
if I ever, you know, launch an OnlyFans, I'm gonna have you teach me a thing or two about.
Oh my gosh. Just a reminder, folks, this is an 18+ chat tonight.
Daddy.
Oh, cute.
So I'm still eventually gonna do the tea in the mug, but I wanted to finish something for the dream.
Yeah.
So I just kind of hid my hands behind my hair right now, and I just finished the sweater. I'm gonna fix the hair.
I love that. The sweater
Yeah.
looks great.
I was thinking that too. Wow, words are hard. I was also thinking that. Thank you, Randall, for speaking. It feels very you as well. Like I can imagine you wearing that top.
I am wearing that top right now.
There you go.
Oh,
Look at
That's
that.
the
I don't even
top
have to admit
I'm
that
wearing.
much.
So it's a comfortable top. But yeah, I am gonna draw the tea mug because I really liked how, especially like the tea steam was coming off, but one at a time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Is that not? That's not the layer I wanted that on. No, do that one again.
Now we get to draw shadows. Well,
Aw, Nicole and Paul, you crack me up.
Shut up.
So I had created this is a long time ago. But I had created a little series that I had wanted to keep doing. I'm obviously no longer with that person, so it didn't fit anymore, but it was Halloween costumes where I wanted to do something ridiculous and he was not quite as game. And it was the Emmy, no, Emmy, yes. So I had him, like the one I think I came up with was he was going to be Tom Hanks from Castaway, and I was just going to be the big beach ball, and it's him like standing there shivering in like a little diaper underwear thing, and me just in the ball being like, yeah. Emmy, no. Emmy, yes. Like I said, basically a small boy child in mindset.
yeah. There's something wrong with these brushes, and rather than actually figure out what's wrong with it, I just keep using different brushes, and then something happens with it that they get like wonky, so I move up to different brushes. And one day I just need to sit down and actually fix my brushes. Is the moral of that story.
Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do on one of the streams. It'll just be me setting all my shortcut hotkeys and you fixing your brushes, and everybody like, this is the stream where we just do all these things that we keep talking about that never actually happen.
I feel like that's logic though. Like, hey, here's the behind the scenes.
Yeah. Not only do you want to
Like
see
the
us draw,
actual behind the
here's
scenes,
the super tedious stuff we do to set up our work.
not stage.
No, you're thinking about this wrong. That's the Patreon, like, view into the background. Like, if you want to see what it's really like, support us.
If you
on
want to
Patreon.
see how much of a hot mess we really are,
You want to see the real life
$5
struggle.
a month.
be sure to turn in.
Feel better about your life.
It looks
We
like
really don't know what we're doing.
No, we are just winging this. Oh, that's funny. Yes, exactly, Bean. That is the OnlyFans. Okay. Well, hey, guess what? It's 10 o'clock. So we can actually outro. Because we did it, guys. We streamed for 3 hours.
Woo!
Woo!
Yay.
3 whole hours.
3 whole hours. That was good. So I don't know about you. I'm going to speak for myself, but I had an absolute blast. This was super fun. Yeah, it was nice to have like other artsy people hanging out, and thank you, chat, for everybody who hung out with us. That was really, really fun. Great questions. Also, yay, because we got to talk about Gundam and Pokemon and Zoids. So
And chickens, don't forget.
And chickens. Yes, I'm always happy to bring my terrible childhood stories of death and destruction. Mostly at my own hand. But yes, and now I know my little monster. So I have a new thing in my brain that I can let go of and make space for something else. But don't worry, the quadratic equation is still in there. So yeah, so Nicole, if you want to pop each person's info into the chat, I don't think we need to do outros. But yeah, for anybody who's still here, definitely give a follow to these wonderful people because they were willing to come and hang out with me and draw and stream. And I'm so grateful. So yeah, I had fun. The hope will be as people send me their art, I can put something together and do a promo thing of how our turned out art ended up. Sorry, there's a bug in here. I'm also clearly losing my mind. Maybe I should eat something again. Yeah, no, you're right, Bean. The quadratic equation never leaves. Slope intercept form also holds a special place in my heart. So yeah, get a little y equals mx plus b action going. Yeah, it's fine, guys. It's fine. But yeah, so I think again, many of these things that if you hung out the whole time, you'll hear me repeat. But the plan will be, I will throw out some dates and times to all of the lovely humans in the Doodle Crew, and the hope will be that we can maybe get kind of a rotating cast. So we have a good number of people in our little Discord chat right now. We're all artists and all do lots of different types of art. So maybe bringing on some new and different people if, you know, people actually can't make every single one. And maybe, and you don't even necessarily need me, even if it's on my channel. I can take a break too. But yeah, if you have stuff that you would like to see us draw, I think that's the goal at some point, to maybe start doing different silly prompts, or all of us watching one person draw and then commenting on it, because I think that can be fun. But we wanted to see how this would work and if this was going to work, and I think it actually worked pretty well, aside from me just getting a little bit more familiar with StreamYards. But yeah, I had a blast. So a big thank you to everyone here and everyone in chat.
I had a really great time. Thanks for putting this together, Emily.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad.
And Nicole, thank you.
What?
Yes.
Thank you for
like,
all the
helping.
behind the scenes
I was
work.
gonna say, isn't she helping behind the scenes?
Yes, she absolutely is.
I
She is
guess.
downplayed it. No, and she made it so that I did not have to learn a whole new thing in order to make this work. So I'm incredibly grateful. So yeah, but awesome. So yeah, check us out. I will try once I have a better idea. Like I said earlier, I think definitely not before Christmas. Maybe before New Year's. We'll see what everybody's schedule looks like. Time is a social construct though, so who knows? But definitely in the new year, look for us coming back and doing more of this. And depending on how motivated I am, maybe I'll put together, some clips and stuff to put out promo stuff on my YouTube page to generate more. But yeah, if not, follow here and see more of us in the new year. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.